Welcome everybody to Dungeons and Dragons. So last week, let's see, Evendur, would you like to fill us in
Oh man.
for what occurred last week? A lot of stuff happened with your character.
Yeah. So we woke up from the drugging juice phase or whatever.
That happened.
We all walked out kind of embarrassed. Nobody was saying anything to each other about it. Very awkward.
I was just like, it was really cold in there. Just want to let everyone know.
And then so we headed back to the hotel, and did we bump into Astrid before or after we went back? I forgot.
That was on your way out of the temple to the Manor of Chance.
Yeah. And we bumped into this guy named Astrid.
Yes.
He was a wizard, and he invited me to a very nice conference of sorts, but
Nothing happened.
you guys denied me that because you guys tried pickpocketing him.
We didn't do anything. I just fell
Set off
over.
alarms.
Twice.
Martha fell over.
I thought for sure the alarm spell would be like a one and done, but
So we all looked
I
back.
don't know spells.
I don't know. Martha,
Consequently, the meeting was canceled.
Yeah.
Everything was canceled.
the whole town shut down. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, and everybody ran away at the sight of me when I was trying to look for the
Like
place.
the magic shopping aisle was all just like a flea market.
Yeah.
I have this used toothbrush.
Yeah, they're trying to sell me
The garage sale, right?
stupid, useless goods and stuff.
Ocarina that plays by itself, but only you can hear it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I gave that up because everybody ran away. They kept running away. So we went back to the Manor of Chance and bet again
Yes.
on the little rat race table.
Adorable little bears.
And I won again, 4,500 gold. So
Nailed it.
So lesson learned, you can do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
That is...
Literally.
Oh, you got one.
I suppose so.
Remember we bought it at, what's it called? PAX.
That's right. Well played, sir.
I like to
Yeah.
pretend that the spell effect is a middle finger from Evendur.
Yeah.
It's like flaming.
It's a tiny illusion of a middle finger.
Yes. I don't even flip people off myself. I have spells
A
that do
little
that.
Venetian. All right, very good. So then, after you were...
We're going to rendezvous with the, what's his name again?
Rolo the Red.
Rolo the Red, yeah. And so we're in here looking for him in this place, and he eventually pops up, and that's where we ended last time. I
Yes.
think I missed some details in the explanation.
No, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. Amir went off to go and see if there was any work to be had in the city.
That was probably the biggest inter party thing that
Dispute,
happened. Is like, how does this? It's like he is a dog walker, but kills people, and he's that nonchalant with it.
I mean, it's just dogs.
So I am. Did you see that part at all? Where my character and
Steve did a good job.
and his character
He was
were
very uncomfortable, almost in real
with
life.
like
I was
wanting
like,
to
what
kill
is going
people,
on?
and he's cool with it. And he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go kill some people if you guys want to cut." What? No.
Maybe it was what was the word you're trying to use for that though? Like gift giving.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Thieves Camp.
Thieves Camp is
The gift
delivering a
givers
gift.
and
Yeah. Rudy
The
sending a
uncles
gift.
and-
Right.
Yeah.
Rudy's
yeah.
really
Yeah,
good
he
at
gets it
Yeah,
that
I
thieves
can
camp.
tell.
One of the best things can't do.
I just want to kill people. I don't know how to say
yeah, I
it.
don't.
Look, let's just shoot straight.
So in this this
You think I should
room
kill anybody, right?
with
Okay.
finely crafted stone walls around you and magical torch sconces that have been slightly pulled on by Amir, who is looking for a secret passageway, Rolo the Red pops his head out from the ground after sliding one of the floor tiles over and says that he has some interesting news for you.
That actually is not the accent he said it in.
I have interesting news to tell. So,
Fade black.
hello
Cutscene.
everybody. I thank you for agreeing to meet me. Sorry for lateness. I was trying to find our bearded Thraman, but he is missing.
Oh.
It was done with Gristlebar clan.
I'm so excited that something's happening. This has been 8 weeks. Sorry.
Gristlebar clan, each dwarf, they have to attend shifts, and they put Thramin on shift to go clear out a new vein of mithril. But the party goes silent. So they know me as a friend, so I come back to tell you news.
Let me get into my accent real quick. I'll find it. Just bear with me. I gotta think of some kind of phrase that gets me into that.
So you just go killing people.
You can't have, yeah, oh yeah. There we go. I mean, we don't have to be finding Thramin. We really just need some. We're supposed to bring something back to the Owl and Arrow. We don't even need to beat him, really.
Well, I do know where his room is, so I can take you to Rome.
Perhaps even just one of his partners.
Well, the Gristlebar people, I can introduce you, and you can have them take you down to mine if you need. It doesn't bother me. I go through.
Do you mind if we have a minute to talk amongst ourselves?
Not at all. Do you want me to go somewhere so that you can have your own?
No, I think you're
privacy?
fine. It's fine with me. So we go over by the table, right? So because he came up and noticed that.
That's right.
What do you think? I mean, this isn't our problem. We really just need the things that he has.
The figurine.
No, not the figurine. The drugs or the facilitator, the catalyst for whatever.
But it's probably easier if we get him to tell us where it is.
It depends how lost he is. If he's in the Underdark, then I don't think it's worth it. I mean, I'm partially thinking that, unless something's in it for us, which is not 200 gold. I made 200 gold last time we gambled. I mean, we could go back and just simply say that Thramin's missing. Riven, what do you think?
Well, we could.
Why are we looking for something to make our drugs?
Yeah.
And he has it. He's our contact.
Who is? I thought we were coming for a figurine.
No, the figurine is.
No, that's for
the
your
high elves who are looking
high
for
elves, your nemesis high elves.
The high elves are
You and
yeah, I thought we were
Evendur's
I thought we were going to try to. I had an objective. Maybe it was on my
That
head.
was way off of what everyone else was doing
I thought we were gonna try to get the figurine before
before
the
they
high
did.
elves.
You
Yeah.
bargain down.
Yeah.
You were in Colorado.
Yeah.
So that was 2 sessions.
I thought that was
It was 2 sessions ago.
yeah, several sessions ago that was
So
that happened.
it's a side goal. The real goal, which again, totally fine. Let's go do that. If Thramin's gone and Rolo can't find him, I am simply saying perhaps he's gone. We go back to Alan Arrow. No harm, no foul. We tell him, hey, Thramin's gone. You got to send somebody else.
After we search his
There's
room,
not another
we
true silver.
search the room just in case, and then.
Evendur, what do you think?
We already searched them.
No.
I'm
His
down
room.
for it.
Thramin's
No,
room.
his room.
Thramin's room.
Where is Thramin's room?
It is down in Gristlebar mine.
Either way, we got to get out of
Yeah.
this mine. This was not part of our contract.
But I think if we just go in the mine and we do the search of his room and that's it. And we walk out.
Sounds like
How do we feel about dwarves?
That sounds a lot like we're just going to find Thramin. That's what's going to end up happening. We just need to be on board. We don't have healing potions. We don't have anything. Oh, I take that back. Our party has 1 healing potion.
Oh yeah, I already told you guys that I can make more, and
I mean,
if
that
you
would
guys
even
paid
be,
the
I
gold
know,
to get
but
the
that's
stuff
not
for it.
enough time. We have to go now. But I say we can-
Is there some way we could send a magical voicemail to the Owl and Arrow and ask them for more gold?
Nothing that I can do, unfortunately.
Well, Rolo, is there something you can do for us?
You want to send
Do you have
message?
like a level 5 sending?
The sending message.
Allow me to look through spellbook.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was in the mine and he went missing. And
No, he went deeper. They sent to a different spot in the mine.
yeah.
So I say, if you go to this room, we can search the room. Like, okay, we didn't find it. We'll just say we'll cut our losses, and let's say we have the figurine. We go to figurine like since we're already in town, might as well.
Yeah.
And then we're leaving right away, so that's
What leads do we have on the figurine?
we just
The
know
High
it's,
Elves of Largadon are looking for Thramin to get it.
Perhaps we could enlist. I mean, you're their friend. You could ask them if they could help us find it.
Sure.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Not really.
Maybe my irony doesn't or my sarcasm doesn't translate in
the
time.
guy-
No.
Astrid and,
Yeah.
and the group.
Shadowlands?
No, the high elves. Sorry, go ahead.
the one that destroyed your spell book. Or tried to.
That guy.
Your best
They were
friend.
looking for Thrawn.
No, if he wanted to, he would destroy it. He was just playing with it.
I do have spell, but only can send 25 words.
25 characters.
So you're not that
Words.
powerful.
You get 25 words, and then they can respond.
So it's like a tweet.
At
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
birdie.
Let's count this
Sure.
out.
Birds never stop though. They,
What does something like that cost us?
well, if you.
How about we don't kill you? And you send
What
it?
the?
Amir, what the Amir means is how much is it going to cost us?
It depends on if.
We all just we curtain him with our bodies.
I'm curious to know who you're trying to contact. What is? Why were you looking for Thrawn, and what is it that you need?
Oh, I'd be happy to. Where's the?
Amir's hands getting
Rolo, my friend. Oh, why don't you talk to the scan?
I have to figure out what I'm trying to say first. 'Cause
Our friend here could explain it
Oh
better
yeah,
than any
let's
of
see
us.
how good you do, Michelson, huh? Let's all laugh at you.
Let's all stare at him. Let's
Yeah.
all stare and make him uncomfortable.
So right now, what we're trying to say, are we trying to do? Because I was thinking about the message.
So in his ear, I simply don't want him to know that we're drug dealers, unless he's part of the order or
No,
something else.
he is part.
No, he's not.
Rolo
No.
is. He worked with Hannah.
He's an uncle.
Yes,
Hannah's not the.
He's the pearl.
That's right.
Yeah,
He is.
he is the pearl. So he's
Yeah,
part. Yeah.
So you say it that way. If it
Yeah.
comes to bite us in the butt,
Yeah.
Amir kills you first. I'll save you, but
So
you have more points.
okay. Okay,
I'll
so,
save you, but you're.
So right now, what we're trying to do, we're trying to
We just tell him maybe what's going on.
Rolo, or we're telling.
Rolo, yeah, he's the only one.
Okay, so
He wants. What did you ask?
Uh,
What did you ask?
Why would
What do
you
you
need
need
the
Thrawn for? Who is it that you need to send spell to?
oh no, who we're sending to? We're sending to our
Not Baelnorn, but
it's our uncle in
yes,
I can try spell to contact Thrawn.
that would be convenient.
It's-
What if it didn't work? What would be the limiting factors?
Are you looking for the Alan Arrow?
I don't
The
know, I
name
think
of the guy who runs it there?
Alan Arrow?
he is,
Yeah.
He doesn't
The
respond.
Garn Thelma?
Garn Felmore. Ding ding ding.
somewhere he's our uncle in
Uncle Garn.
Yes, that is correct.
yeah. This
Garn
is
Felmore.
this
Well,
is
I
to
do not
our
know this man.
But we say it in a Garne Elmorphe.
like our,
I do not know this Garne.
How about Garn?
But he is from other place, not from Warminster.
not from Almost.
Just go in case.
Well, where are you from? What is?
We're from Itham.
I thought, yeah.
Oh, Ithon. Okay.
We're the
well,
bakers of Itham.
The bakers of Ithon.
Maybe he knows nails.
That doesn't. When in my head it sounded way more. I'm not gonna lie. In Steven's head it sounded way more like the Three Amigos. Didn't work.
Well, I do not know these bakers, but I am certain that I can help you if there is something that you can do for me, or you pay gold, or whatever.
How much iron
I
is that?
still say we can tell him that we're not gonna kill him. Is that off the table?
100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's 1,000%. 1,000% off the table.
But if we ever need the services, we definitely know where to look, and we appreciate it.
Okay.
So, what would be the issues if Raman was unable to answer?
If Thraman no answer, then I can assume he is dead. It's possible he is on other plane, but there is no reason to be on other plane, so it would only be that he is incapable of thinking answer, which would mean he's dead.
Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, kind of.
And how much gold would it cost?
Well, for one sending with the components.
And the receiving.
Well, of course, but spell called sending. This is why I call it sending. Sorry, my comment not as common as yours.
Yeah.
I think that was an insult.
Let us see what I need. for
Hey,
the
so
components.
I'm obviously not a baker of Ithon, but I think you have a point. Why would you guys care? Why are we still here?
From an old friend of mine.
Did you see how hot Martha was when she turned back into herself?
Yeah, so why don't we go do a side quest so Martha could look like that?
That's why Martha's gonna
For troop
negotiate
morale.
this.
So right now we have the.
Right, I charge 400 gold for sending.
What if you send a message to the high elves?
No,
I do not know them personally, but I have heard they in town. I think I need a little bit more information.
Do you have
in order send.
so basically you have to know who it is, right? Or,
Somewhat. I can give you instructions so that I can prepare spell and then I can have your friend over here try to cast it. It's possible we'll misfire, but I watch for amusement only.
I don't think he's,
Alright, 400 gold's not gonna happen.
yeah, I don't think he knows any of our contacts at the Ithon, so I don't think he will.
Oh no, I've not been to Ithon.
So,
we have to talk to Throm. At least Throm, we can figure out if he's alive.
Yeah.
yeah, what use
gonna
has he
cost a
been
lot.
so far?
Or Dendron.
This is
Dendron
this
woman?
is our main thing. We got hired by
Oh,
Dumbledore
the,
to
uh,
go here and get the stuff.
Yeah, what was
And use
his
him. So
name?
Right,
Isn't
but
that the kid?
this-
Actually, he's
yeah.
the kid that was
this
supposed to be.
wizard said he
Well,
didn't
he's
find
the-
the
he's
guy
the
we're
ruler.
looking for.
no, but
Yeah.
Of
I know, but that's what we're gonna send a message to Throm to see if he's alive.
Who's paying 400 gold?
Not it.
Not it. Literally, I cannot.
Yeah, I literally can't either. So no, or we can
Okay,
do a
well,
thing for him. That's basically
do
that's
that.
he's going for a trade. If we do something for
Sounds
him.
What
Really
I
good
can
idea.
do,
That'd be
if you would
fantastic.
like, I can do sending myself, see if Thromin is alive, and then if you would like sending to your people, I would appreciate it if you would help me to at least determine the extent of what it will take to get Thromin. Then I will cast sending for you.
That sounds
That's
good.
a lot cheaper.
That's a lot
I think it's
better
fair.
deal. That's a better deal. Well, we can stop that.
I don't care, man.
Right?
Very well.
The
I
bakers
just
are good.
never see elf in
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
so it's weird looking.
Yeah.
Weird.
You have ears that are pointy and he's just too skinny. Give him a sandwich or something. So,
He doesn't like donuts or brownies.
not a baked good fan. Well, they are
Traveling with bakers.
delicious.
That's interesting.
Okay, well, what we want?
This is the Brahmin, right?
When we die, I'm gonna point to you, so you're up.
Okay, so no, this is the message
Yes,
Brahmin.
uh-huh.
So we can say.
Oh, he
Can
was
you
just
just
gonna,
find out if he's alive?
yeah, he was
Yeah.
just gonna, he's
Yeah.
binary peeing here.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
that'll just be.
Okay, give me 5 minutes.
Cutscene 20 minutes later. Come on, Michelson. I was on the spot, man.
I know. I gotta figure it
I was
out.
in the conversation, and he's like, "What are you saying?" And I'm like, I don't even know this.
So
I never looked at it.
it's gonna be. Basically, are you on the cobbled road right now? And are you either resting with
That's a lot of words.
Are
You
on
get
that-
25. It's
25.
okay if you want. Write down. I can give you parchment.
Okay, yeah. That's what we need to figure out. We need.
Are you on a cobble road or something? That's like already.
Or arresting you in jail.
Oh, that's it. Arrested in jail.
What about like find object or something?
With the spell?
Yeah.
Find object. I don't.
Locate
You don't
object.
have that?
No.
Locate object?
He has like those
no.
bracelets made of platinum.
Ding.
Yes.
Can you do that somehow? Is there a spell that you can just see?
Yeah,
where
can
those
he,
bracelets
does he
are?
know that spell? Find object?
Find object.
Good job, Riven. Rivan.
I think it's locate object.
Locate up.
Yeah.
I think my spell's better than that. So,
Is it find
No, but
creature or
you actually have
locate?
to see
Locate
object?
creature, locate
Is that-
You actually
object.
haven't seen it before.
Yeah, you can do locate
no,
object.
I need to hold it.
No, but the object is on throne.
Oh, what's the point?
On a scale of like roll of 1 to
Yeah, no,
9,
yeah,
what level
his spell,
is
He
locate
can
object?
cast it and then bind it.
It's second
Oh,
level
yeah, that is
elimination,
shooting for it.
so like a fourth level spell for fourth level wizard or something like that.
Oh, so my spell would be used if we
You
cast
need to
it,
be.
we find the wrists and not the body. Then if we need to find the body, then I can cast the spell. And locate where the last owner is, probably in a body bag somewhere. Chopped
words,
up.
actually not enough to.
Don't like it?
No, 25 words. It's not enough to
So-
convey like real best. That's what I said. Yeah.
Oh,
So
no,
first,
yeah.
don't you have to identify who you are? Because it's coming
Yeah,
from,
no,
okay.
but it's coming from.
Who you are, what you want.
Well, he's doing it. He's
Yeah,
setting his
No,
own.
yeah, no. So it will
Yeah,
be-
so
Rolo
Rolo
makes
goes on
you
the
have to
ground,
state that it's him. So
and
I am Rolo. 4 words already.
Is
Yeah,
Rolo.
yeah.
I is Rolo. Hey, you save some, you save some.
they see you.
Per Rolo. 2 words.
So find out if he's alive.
Sure. So
Ding.
Rolo, while you guys have been discussing this, has gone over into like a corner. He takes out a candle and puts it in the center, and then begins drawing in this strange chalk on the ground. And the chalk, as it's grinding across, it kind of like occasionally you'll see like a spark come up as he's doing it. And he completes the ritual circle. It's a lot smaller than what you've seen Evendur. It's probably just because it's more of a simple spell for him to be able to cast it. And he's probably doing this to save spell slots.
So
Yeah.
can I make
Guessing as a
some sort of insight check to see if that's 400 gold chalk?
You
Like,
can
why is this guy saying the components?
roll an insight check.
14.
14. He has valued it at this because that's what it probably he thinks is a fair market price. But he is also a crooked hedge wizard, so
Exactly.
maybe this is just what he always charges, so he believes that that price is what is fine.
So that's the fallacy of insight in this game.
Uh,
If they believe the lie, they're saying that insight doesn't.
Well, to determine whether or not that actually, like, you would have had to have seen or have asked someone to cast ascending
no,
spell.
no. I mean, generally speaking, DM.
Right.
If
the insight.
if I insight check someone who believed the lie they're saying, it does nothing essentially.
So I got a
Is it a
bid back
lie?
from an IT guy this week. It was 3 times as expensive as the other guy. He genuinely thinks that's what it costs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it's not the,
So,
it's
like,
not the flaw
inside
of
check-
insight. I think you're using it wrong.
No, not in real life. In D&D,
I know, in D&D I think
it's
you're using
almost worthless at that.
No. I think you're using it wrong.
If he was directly
How would I
lying,
use that right?
So
then
you're not a wizard. How would you know? Right? And 2, I would have made an arcana check, not an insight check.
or like history
yeah,
of you've
okay.
cast it before or something. But
Inside it's more intention. The person's intention.
right, he doesn't appear to be
Or
thinking that
perception
he's
check to
ripping
see if
you
he's
off. He just thinks that's what
ripping
he
you
is.
off.
So, so he's not lying.
Maybe a vendor could check.
Oh, I
se.
don't care. I just wanted to roll something.
Oh, of course. Well, congratulations, you rolled.
I wouldn't have paid the 400 gold anyway. So.
Higher than the average. So he, after he has created that all, he takes this wire made of copper. It looks like the same color as your copper pieces that you have found and that you have had 5,000 of, and takes the wire and strings it across, wraps one around one hand and then one around the other hand, and holds it together and puts his face towards the circle, and then he begins whispering this enchantment, and then the circle that all these like strange intertwining arcane symbols just flare to life really very quickly, and he just very quickly whispers something, and the wire between him begins vibrating, and it becomes this strange looking blur in front of him. Moments later, his ears kind of perk up, and he's listening to something in his head that's coming back to him. He places the wire into one of his mini pouches that he has on him, and turns around. Well, he is alive.
What do you say?
He say they were ambushed, and that there were these strange-looking elves that fight them.
The high elves.
But
Yeah.
Black elves.
Okay.
Or drow, for sure. High elves don't live underneath.
There's the high
Unless
elves.
they were those
Yeah.
elves.
They
Should
literally
have
were
killed
coming to-
Argon
What does he mean by weird?
well, they
Yeah, we
not
wouldn't be
like
able to.
not like friends here. They have black skin,
We're not friends.
Okay.
and they came from nowhere. Says that they took the entire patrol as prisoners, so they didn't kill them, but they did disarm a couple of them.
So does the drow.
I think we find a new source for our drugs.
Agreed.
Come on, man.
I don't care
What
this
are we
much.
level? Well, level 4. I mean, it would take a while to kill us all.
What do you mean by level 4?
Like on a scale of like 1 to 20, we're like a 4.
Oh, okay,
1
yes.
being
Oh, it's like drinks in Fox and Hound. It's terrible.
sure.
We'll be
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
All right. Crap.
So then, can we, if we think those are the drow elves, then do you think that we should potentially send a message to the high elves of Largadon to let them know that the people that they're looking for are in trouble, and that maybe we
No,
partner?
I don't think they were working with the drows. They were working with they were going to the king.
No, they were going to Thrawman to find a figurine,
Yeah.
weren't they?
No, they were trying to
Was
get
it
from
Dendron?
Dendron.
Oh, I thought it was Thraman.
The king.
They're trying to get it from Dendron.
Yeah, the kid.
What's Dendron's relationship with Thraman?
There's no relation.
There
He's
is
his
none that
lord.
you know.
Yeah, they're not connected.
We just know the Lord's forged document is how we got into the city. So he probably doesn't know we exist either. Brahmin's a point of contact there in the city. So the king is just, this is another thing, the king is with the high elves.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then I don't know. Let's get the figurine. Let's just take on a new mission.
From our business before, how do we know, is it frowned upon for Felmore if we don't complete deals with him?
Oh, so it would look like, so if you've got evidence, obviously, that he was taken, you weren't able to retrieve him. The idea was to get not only just the ingredient, but like a person who can recreate it so that you can have a supply of the stuff. Because you don't know how far the bloom shroud will actually go once you are starting to use it and culture it.
You just told us that's what we were looking for. We never confirmed that
Oh.
until right now.
I mean, if
You
you
should have
spoke
called
with
it.
Ramen,
So screw that. Let's go find Hannah.
But I think,
She's gonna be like, I get it from Thrawman.
yeah. Yep.
she did say that she gets it from Ramen.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, I just want to know, like, how frowned upon, because right now we're trying to start our business. Our main objective is to expand our business, right? As bakers.
Yep.
So if we start failing missions, when that make Felmore less likely to give us business.
Yeah.
So I think we have kind of, but we did get paid already. Let's want to pay the 200 gold back.
Plus,
Yeah.
what's Amir has been
Yeah.
is
itching.
oath bound to protect
Yeah,
us,
yes.
right, Amir?
Yes.
Yep. So
Lead the way.
Let's go.
yep. So I think that's we got to do it since.
So So we're gonna go try to find Ramen and
Well,
save him?
we kind of, unless we want to basically burn bridges with the owl and arrow.
The other fear is Benji doesn't have another side quest prepared tonight.
I can go in any direction you guys want to
Yeah, we
go.
still have the Shadow Web arc that we can.
That's right, we could do that.
Or a vendor's getting robbed by that.
We can
track down Isa.
Isa,
You
yeah.
have
Oh
like,
no, she bounced.
you have like
No, we
4
can
side
find her.
quests.
No,
I have a particular set of skills.
but order operation wise, it's
There
gonna
are, you guys
Ramen's
can
the
do
closest
whatever
guy.
you want. I'm literally prepared for
I
it.
mean, we haven't been in a mine in a little bit.
be. Well,
Sounds interesting.
I think this
I
is.
thought there was an adventure there.
Or you guys could just do one of your side quests from your trip that no one's talking about.
No.
Which,
Everyone's like, oh, we're good.
It's true.
Who was, it was me, you, and Evendur?
Yeah.
Okay,
And the priestess.
retcon. At some point in time, I'm like, hey look, super pornographic, whatever. I know where a huge buried treasure chest is.
Oh.
And it's in Watu, right
Oh,
across the
we should go
cove.
there. When I was tripping out, I found I remember this
Vision
book,
quest, man.
this big spell book, yeah, in Watun also. So we should go there. And,
I
Perfect.
got none of that. I just had a great time.
Yeah.
that's good too.
So, just out of interest, was it like erotic as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
She was like on me.
Yeah.
You weren't you there with us in the room?
I don't think you were in my room. Yeah.
I think
When I-
you were
when I-
all on the same
When
Uh,
I no, I was in the room, but when I fantasized, it was just me and her.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Thing.
wow.
That's how I
That's
read it.
good.
That's what I'm gonna remember. Love you, Riven. But yeah,
I mean, that's also what I remember. So.
Yeah. Yeah,
She definitely hit up Watun next.
for sure. So I kind of feel like she cheated on me. Weird, huh?
I'm okay with that.
I mean, you're human. It's weird.
I guess.
Old fashioned, I guess. All right. Okay. So then we could also do that.
Rolo. I have
Yes.
2 spell pages. One was burned. What is the possibility that you can prepare this burn spell?
Please
Wait,
tell
are
him
we-
to go see the spider webs.
are we
The shadow web.
are we looking for what is it we're doing? You want me to help you fix the spell book or
Yes.
what?
Does this spell page look? This is a spell page for rope trick.
Do you mind if I see?
Yeah, absolutely.
He
The last
grabs it
one, the
from
second
you,
page is singed.
pulls it over and flips to the page that, or has you have it open already. Well, now this is interesting. I never used the spell before. Do you have
He steals.
Do you have a week that I can spend taking this and adding it to my own spellbook, or?
You could, if you know how to fix it, you can definitely copy it for free.
Well, I'm sorry, I do not know. I see where you are talking about. Hold on, let me.
Nope, I don't see.
Obviously, this could be one of 7 different symbols.
Oh,
You don't remember which
process
symbol?
of elimination. though.
No. So what do you want? What can we do? Do we just cast every possible spell and see what happens?
Well,
That's a very bad idea.
I would be willing to watch you try that.
Oh
I
god.
would pay to see that.
I would. We go out in the field and we do it. It would be really safe and funny.
Okay, safe.
But there,
Another side quest.
we do have. I'm not part of organization, but there are a group of wizards here in.
I mean, yes. Shadow
Yes, these shadow webs. They're very exclusive.
Are you good friends with Astrid by any chance?
Astrid is.
Complete douchebag.
I do not.
They said
I do not get
they-
well with Astrid.
They
It's
said
not.
they said they don't like you.
Oh, I believe this. I believe this. They think
I brought your name up and they said that. Oh.
Oh.
What can we do for that?
When I get his attention, I'm like, it's not what they said.
What can we do to get them to like us?
Oh, well, normally they invite you, and then if you go to meeting, then you share drinks, you break bread, and everyone.
See, I had that opportunity, but they all screwed it up.
Yeah.
You two.
All that's fair.
Uh,
So now I'm on their bad side because of these 2 guys.
Well, it is unfortunate, yes. That will stop that from being able to happen. There's only maybe one more wizard that I can think of, but he is dwarven.
So
That's
that he
fine.
could be in the mine.
So
He could be in the mine.
Dwarven wizard?
Thraman.
yes, her name is Onbera.
Unbearable.
Yes,
Can you spell that? UN
Onbera.
or ON?
I do not know dwarven script.
Oh,
They
no.
use weird letters. They are
just
squiggly
sounded,
and swirly. I only know that she say Onbera.
Unbearable.
She is from family Big Toe.
Big toe on
All right.
Big toe. That would be a sad last name.
But she is down in mine.
Are you selling any wizarding goods by any chance?
Oh, well, at the moment, I would need to go back to my tower, but if you are we buying things? What are we doing? What is it that we want
I don't
to
think
do?
they want to follow this guy. They seem to be stalling a lot.
It's up to you. I can go and talk to dwarves and see if they will get expedition together. Otherwise, I will do my best because I owe Thraman a favor.
Yeah, just send this guy. Send this guy to go get dwarves and go find the guy you're looking for. He was supposed to bring him tonight and he failed.
Uh-huh.
So technically, he should still go.
Well,
Find
he was
this
not in
dwarf.
room. I go check room. They say he
I
was part
mean,
of scouting party.
you agreed to bring him to this room,
He did.
How can I
and
know?
you didn't.
How would I
So-
know what he's doing?
I mean,
When they are down in mine, they are down in mine.
So we all go.
I can go and we can go together.
You guys want to do that?
Martha's
I don't.
anything.
I'm good with it.
I'm down.
Seems like y'all want down. I was fine going. I'm trying to get paid.
Who can see in dark?
I can.
Okay, we
I
got
cannot.
I cannot.
two that cannot. Okay, if you don't mind, I can give you lens piece, but I want it back.
I've already lost a number of magic items this game that I'm not. I thank you, but I'll have to use the torch. I would.
Is very well. It's-
Lens piece for you just
Just about borrowing something from some of the Russian accents.
So if you wear lens piece and you walk around, you can see in dark.
forever.
Is yes, you wear it like glass on eye, and you can see.
It's very useful.
Oh, yes.
You
I'll
should
borrow
steal
that.
it.
I'll borrow that.
No, I'm gonna.
Oh, very well. He reaches into one of his bags and pulls out. It looks like an eye patch, like part of a cloth, but there's this black, and when you stare at it in like this, in the
It's the only thing that can make you any uglier, man. It's an eye patch.
it has,
wait, on her non-blind eye, right?
I know. It's just like one like cataract eye.
it's like a bandana. It's like a bandana eye patch, but like in the center, like it looks like a black stone, but when you hold it up against the light, you can see kind of like this rainbow effect when you angle it a certain way. And he explains you just wear it like this, and then you can see, and it only gives you 60 feet of dark vision. Beyond
good.
that, you can't really see.
That is plenty.
If you guys plan to go stealthily, I would suggest that you don't take a torch.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm gonna take a torch. I'm like lighting it.
Oh, you don't mean the light right here. No,
Yeah.
the dwarves they are lit up. They have lights in mind. Dwarves do like their fire. They like their smoke. So we go down. You
What
follow
kind of
me.
smoke?
Oh well. I think you
Is it
know
chimney?
what I what.
Never mind.
They like their pipe weed. I tell you that. So we have. So entrance to mine, we have surface level that is heavily guarded. If we go down through this tunnel right here, and he points down to the hole in the ground that he has there, this takes us to first floor level, and they do not ask so many questions.
Alright, I'm down to go if you guys
So
are.
why would they, so it's guarded, they don't want this in this
So
one?
on the top, and you guys passed it. It was this kind of like a heavily guarded stone building that was right at the entrance of like where the dwarven area was when you were first passing by it. It's kind of a squat building, but it is very it's completely closed off except for a single door, and there were two dwarves who were heavily armored standing outside the entrance to it. So it's assumed that the surface where the mine actually goes down, there's a shaft that you can take it's basically like a small type of elevator that goes down. But
So why don't we just get permission
Yeah,
so we don't have to kill as many dwarves?
yeah.
Not that I don't have
no,
problems with
We're not
Oh.
killing any doors. No, we
is your pointy
Yeah,
friend
yeah.
here going to hurt any of the dwarves? They are
because
good
I'm
people.
assuming Thrawn won't help us. If we
The
kill
elves
this
and the
kin-
dwarves don't like each other.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see, okay. Alright.
But if
I
we're
can see
gonna,
that.
if we're trying to help find them, why wouldn't they just let us
So
in?
he
Or
was.
why do we have to sneak in, is what I'm asking.
Well, you come with me and I give you alibi, no problem.
That's what we're going to roll.
Yeah. No
It's
need,
very convenient.
no bloodshed. No
Well, Rolo the Red is very convenient.
Let's do it.
Alright. So, Rolo goes back,
Sneaking in.
No, Rolo's going to let us in. We're
No,
going
it's not his mind. He's sneaking us in.
well, he's going to get us in.
But why can't we just go in?
Yeah, that,
Because
that
it's,
was my
it-
point.
it
just
is-
saying.
are you asking this to Rolo or are you just...
No, she's asking out of game, right? Or are you asking?
Well, in game,
Oh,
fine,
in
yeah.
game.
But like to the team, like why couldn't we just go up top and explain our situation?
Because it's basically...
And then we're trying to help them find somebody. Like why wouldn't they just
Who
let us?
ambushed their kinsman? Doesn't make sense using this guy to sneak around.
Yeah, I agree.
Just go to their clansmen and say, hey,
Because that's the only thing.
we can help.
Take more time, because basically we're gonna take him out of the city, and then he's gonna be a drug dealer. We're gonna be telling them, but basically.
You don't need to tell them all that. You
Yeah.
just tell them, we heard that your clansman was in danger. We have business with him. We need to go save him. Give us pass through your mind.
We can try.
Or you could trust this
And then
shitty
if
individual.
Well,
and
say
then
if they say
see
no,
what
then-
happens.
Like Rolo has already started like climbing down into the hole where it's going down. There's these little carvings on the side that you can put your fingers and feet into that climbs down from there.
How much do we know, how likely are doors gonna let us into the mine? That's
Can
what-
I roll an insight to see if this dude's even trustworthy at all? To lead us into the mine at least safely, or
You can roll
Okay.
an insight check.
19.
Nice.
He seems like he can get you in and out with no problem.
It's less.
I don't tell him that,
It's less people knowing
'cause I
that
still
we
don't like
are
it,
even here.
even though it's not the truth.
And then, what was the other question?
I'm following Rolo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why can't so what's gonna happen if we run into somebody in the mines that doesn't
Wait, who are you asking? Because he's already going
Right,
down
roll
the
the
That's
hole.
it, yeah. I'm like, wait.
So, what, you know what? Yes, my horned friend, how are you? He goes, it's only like a 15 feet down, so he gets down to the bottom and looks up, and Benjen is coming down behind him. What?
Should we expect
Fat
that the
Benjen.
dwarves are gonna be upset
Wearing
if
a
they see
kilt,
us?
no underwear.
Well,
Proper way.
certainly dwarves will be uncomfortable, but if they see you with me, it won't be a problem.
Martha has
Alright, Arthur Beacon's climbing down.
Sure,
Are you really nervous?
whatever.
My what?
Are you nervous?
I go down the
No, I just don't completely trust
Yeah,
this
I'm
guy.
going down too.
But yeah, okay, I'm in.
It's probably not taking us.
Basically, I'm going to like the viewpoint of we are drug dealers. We don't want
But
more
we don't have to
people.
explain.
No, but
Bakers.
bakers.
Yeah,
No,
we're
but we
bakers.
don't want more people knowing that we're here. Because then we have to tell everybody, oh yeah, we're going down to the mine. And then if we get anything, then we have to split stuff with them. And then that kind of stuff. That's
I-
what.
Actually,
that's what Martha is
I
thinking.
completely think you're wrong from a tactical
But-
perspective.
So this is the Martha character.
No, I
This is what
know.
you'll
I'm
do.
still in
Yeah.
character as Amir.
Yeah.
But as I'm going down or whatever, I guess I'm saying this out loud. From a tactical perspective, telling the dwarves about this issue, they will issue parties to help us search and hunt down clues for their clansmen,
They'd probably be thankful that we
And-
find them.
which would increase the time or decrease the time in which it would take us to find this dwarf. Now we're running all over these mines where this guy probably doesn't even know how extensive this mine actually is,
He's not a
and
dwarf.
have no clue. He has no clue where he is. He just sent a spell somewhere in these mines. That we could spend days or months here, and you guys are okay with that?
Could be leading us
So
into a
these
trap.
clansmen, if we don't tell them, his clansmen know these mines. They are.
Okay, we'll go to the next dwarves you talk about.
No,
Sounds good.
I don't think that's a good
Where did
idea.
it-
But
how did
sure,
you get in?
if that's
No,
what you want.
but we're going to Rolo said he is able to go through the mine. That's what he just said. Based on what Rolo
But
said.
that would be already an act that doesn't put your party in a positive light if you're sneaking in without notifying them why you're here and what you're doing. If you try and do this after the fact, it will be more difficult, is all I'm saying. So let's continue.
How far away is the front of the mine?
If we go back up, it's 10-minute walk.
What?
That's
10-minute walk.
Oh.
Oh, but certainly no, if you're worried that we are going to just go off on our own, this is not going to happen. No, we're going to go talk to one of the clansmen, probably the borough warden.
Oh, okay. So we're actually going to go meet up with dwarves,
Yes,
who are your friends.
da.
Okay.
I tell him, I say, next time just lead with that.
Yeah. I thought we were sneaking around and like
Oh
trying to.
no, I'm not going to the dark by myself.
I would never go to the Underdark.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
a scary place.
I go in, I go out, I talk, I make friends, but we go down, and then I explain to people, because if you want to come in through surface, then you have to file paperwork, and then they have to go through committee. Probably take 4 days if I pay the right people to see the paperwork. Otherwise, it's standard 2 weeks for paperwork processing.
That's like another month in real life
Yeah.
that we're gonna not.
Yeah.
Okay, we go.
No, yeah, it makes sense now. His communication skills are horrible. I thought mine were bad.
Very well then,
Must be a
okay.
wizard thing.
Is he going to talk out loud like this the whole time?
Whole time.
Very well.
That's him.
Most people, they just keep thoughts in head, friends.
Nah, I don't need to do that.
Okay.
I'm not scared of you.
Oh, I don't want to be scared, I just want him to
As he
know.
poisons him.
Yeah.
He's like, power word kill. Shut up, Amir.
Turns around, he keeps walking. So the tunnel that you guys are going in, it has, it's lit by this kind of phosphorescent lichen that's growing on the walls, this like glowing moss. So it gives off enough.
Cool.
Phasers effect.
Is it like 5 feet of light, or not even that much?
It gives like, like dim, like 5 feet of light, but there's enough of it that you can see the hallway going straight in front of you. And it takes you into where it kind of opens up into a little bit wider, and where you don't have to duck down as much. Into now carved rooms. There aren't any people currently in the area, but there is a torch that is lit on one of the walls, and it's kind of this stone torch sconce, and then there's a hallway at the end, and he takes you over to
Is it nicer than my torch?
It is nicer than your
I
room torch.
replace it.
Okay.
So you steal a torch from the dwarves.
Swap.
Do you want to do it without Rolo noticing?
No. Well, no, I don't care.
Oh,
Yeah, all right,
hey,
so-
you can shut up.
He goes over to where there's a door on the other side, opens the door, walks through it, and you just quickly just. All right, now I have this. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
You head through the door, and it takes you to where.
If anybody asks, I got this as a gift shop.
You're writing that down. Nice torch.
There's a.
Level 4, man, we have nothing.
Your steps begin to become more echoey as you walk down this chamber, and then when you get to the very end, there is this like wire grating that's kind of blocking off the end there, and you see these lines, like what look like metal wires, just going up and down, and Rolo takes his hand and places it on the wall there, and after a moment, the portion of the wall it looks like it dissolves, but really it just kind of becomes translucent, and then he reaches in and pulls a lever, and after that you hear a click in the wall, and then this strange kind of whirring sound like this, and noticing closely, you see that the cables are moving up and down in opposite directions. It's probably 3 minutes before you start seeing this metal box lower down until it finally just like clicks into place. Oh dear, there we go. The wire grating at that point, he reaches his fingers inside it and lifts it up, and it slides into place, and then kind of like stops a little bit below head level, so you kind of deduct through to go into it. You walk into this cage, or he walks into the cage, and it looks like it's suspended in air by these wire cables. And
I asked him if there's stairs.
No, we do.
Super sketchy.
I have not. I do not know if there are stairs. I'm sorry. This is the most efficient way to go down the mine.
Do you know who made this?
Well, yes, there is. There are dwarves, but they have gnome that lives with them.
Would you happen to know his name?
Yes, he goes by Cindy.
Can I get his eye? Can I get his eye contact? Can I get eye to eye with him before he says anything? And I'm just like, don't give him his name. Don't give him his name. Can I do what I roll? I don't want you to kill him. I like gnomes. What do I need to roll?
Still gonna ask him.
There's
how do I roll?
He already started to say the name.
Performance?
Yeah, but then he jumped in. Hey!
No, he
starts
didn't
saying
jump
it,
in. He said he tried to get eye contact.
well,
Maybe instead of Cindy, he'll be like Cynthia.
That's not gonna work.
he says Sindri, and while he says Sindri, you go, and he looks over at you. Are you okay, friend? Are you scared of fights?
Yep.
It was very scary. Yes, I admit. First time I go down mine elevator, I was very scared.
So as I'm like sitting there with a torch lit, right? Is he saying anything?
No.
Like property of Gristlebar mine.
You haven't noticed any etchings on the side of it that say property of anything, so.
You just have the same exact one.
Yeah.
It's IKEA.
I try to like hold as much of the real estate of the torch as I can with it. Burning my-
It's dangerously close to your head. Yeah, so he's inside the mine shaft, or the elevator rather, and he's standing in it.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna go in with him?
Do you have your hood up, Amir? Are you wearing a hood?
Yeah, I usually
Are you?
have it on. What?
No. I'm just trying to figure out what we're gonna look like when we walk in. I have mine down.
Okay.
Once he said that he's friends with the guy, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, his is down.
So I feel comfortable.
I like try to make like my beard nice. I like pull a piece of lint off of Riven's horn.
Yeah, a little.
Ooh, what are you doing? So we're in an enclosed elevator. Are you doing anything with your tail for Rolo?
No.
No.
I'm not.
So it
I'm
is
just trying to get it out of the way.
It's enough
Just
space
stay.
for all of you to like stand uncomfortably close to each other. It looks like there is room for there's these two lines that.
Am I close to Amir?
What does Rolo? What does he look like?
What does who look like?
Rolo?
Rolo, he's a slim wizard. He has a very thin
You can
looking
stop. It's
beard.
a wizard. I'm not interested.
Oh, okay.
No.
Wow.
He has a Spaniard conquistador.
It's no, it's
facial
like
hair.
it's like someone let this
I'm picturing
man
like Rasputin.
try and grow a beard, and
Scary
so
looking
like some of it's coming in full, and some of it's like patchy.
Ooh.
Just started. He just started.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
It's the
he's,
beginning of.
How old does he look?
he's probably a little younger than 30.
So just knowing
Late 20s.
knowing
Yeah.
what I look like, I don't want someone to think that I'm an enemy. I don't want to have to start a fight down here.
Well,
I'm
yes,
not
of
opposed
course.
to it, but I don't want to. Thank you. So I do try to stay like behind him and like kind of like follow him closely so that whenever people see him, they'll see me and they'll be like they'll associate it as like, oh, she's a friend.
Yeah, got it. Okay. So they won't just think like a devil is following.
Yes, exactly. Like I don't want to be at the end of the line.
Yes.
Actually, be 20 feet behind us
Back of the bus.
and sneak in the
and then just
shadows.
cackle loudly. Yeah, so you are all in the elevator then. He looks, makes sure that everyone's in clear and then pulls it all the way down and it,
I want to face the opposite direction. So
Like facing us.
you're facing towards everyone.
Yeah.
So like instead of,
Just
like
that-
elevator
just that,
etiquette, everyone
yeah.
faces towards the door. He's facing, looking at everybody.
But just staring into that guy Rolo's eyes, but just like no expression, just like
Rolo's currently like,
Some.
there are two levers there on the side, and he pulls one halfway down and then pushes the other one up. And then as soon as he does that,
like
it just,
Middle Eastern close.
and it
Like,
If
how
he's
tight
if
is
he's
this?
Russian, he's closer.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Oh,
He don't care about
he
nothing.
puts his arm around you. No. The elevator begins very slowly descending. And you could like sort of see up through the top. You can see through the bottom because it's just kind of like a grate on the bottom that's holding you. It's very terrifying.
Yeah, whoever I'm next to, I'm just like knuckling their shirt.
Does it like move it
Oh,
over?
for sure.
It's definitely like, it has like a bounce to it as it's going down, but it's a slow and steady thing. It's just kind of shaking from whatever is making this go up and down.
Can I roll to see if I would guess the capacity for?
Oh, like a weight limit?
Yeah.
You can begin to make a, what is the sheet? What kind of
Are
check
you
would
gonna
that
try to jump up and down?
Yeah, but
no,
like
just in case we
do it in a
we
like
had
a weird
it-
measurement, like do it in stones or
Yeah.
thumbs.
Don't do it in pounds.
How many
Well, I
thumbs?
want you to roll a check.
I say that's an in check.
It would be probably a straight intelligence check.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. 10.
10, so it's probably,
More or less than.
well, so dwarves, like, the grate on the bottom, like, it looks like it's really weak, but it,
Is all of it made from wood?
no, it's all metal.
Oh.
It's a metal
Um,
gate, basically.
But you think that if they're using this, the dwarves probably have to take probably up to like 200 stones worth of weight. So
Oh, so it's sturdy.
should be able to
Yeah.
handle
200 stones.
a lot. The elevator goes down, and while you're going, like occasionally you'll see like a level pass by. Like there's just like an opening in the wall that has been carved out, and it goes off, and then there's like a door. Every platform has kind of that same thing. Like it goes a little bit of ways, and then there's a door. Goes a little ways, and then a door. And you continue down for about 30 minutes. Where this thing is just constantly lowering you down.
30 minutes?
Wow.
Yes. And the more time that goes by, like...
That's
more-
like long enough for me to have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. I hope everybody went before you came. Otherwise, it's going to be a very uncomfortable trip down. So he's just kind of there. So if anybody wants to ask him anything about what's going on or what he's planning, then now is the time to do it before you get down to the bottom.
So what exactly do you sell at the back of your tower shop?
Well,
It is to the point where I don't know when he's role playing and when he's not.
It is a more collection thing. I really enjoy finding my own type of iron bits, and I like to identify them. I like to collect them.
Wait, Evendur doesn't speak Cant, does he?
No, he doesn't.
He's like, what?
Yeah, I get my own iron bits. I take them in there. I collect them. I find them, and then I keep them.
Oh,
It sounds like he's just talking about
I
iron.
know, yeah.
Anything of use that you might have
He's
that
the only
Oh, they're all very
We all
useful.
speak
in
Yes.
combat?
Yeah.
Well,
So we all get, we're all tracking, and he's just like,
I keep the majority of my own things for personal defense on my person, but there are a few things that I have excess that I just like to have, so I keep them in my tower.
Cool, I'm gonna have to pay a visit later. What's your favorite item that you have?
Oh,
The
well.
most powerful
Oh, you
single
want
piece?
to take it?
I want to buy it. I don't want to
the-
steal it.
We're terrible at stealing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just keep it
Sounds
on.
like-
Hey, you can't afford magic items.
Sounds like we're the worst business people to
I've
work
been
for.
around a
Or
while.
work
I don't
with,
know how
'cause we're just like,
wealthy
oh, we'll
you
rob
are,
you and
but
kill you.
Magic items are a lot.
I
Yeah.
got a fair bit of
Let's break
gold.
that contract right now.
So he. Oh, no, not that one. He tells you that he has a sword that he has no use for, but it is his favorite one.
One-handed sword.
It is a
three-handed.
three hands. It can only be wielded by a
It's a
barrel.
it's a three-kin, whatever those mantis animals are, wields it.
That's why it's his favorite.
No, it is a two-handed sword, so it's
Oh,
this
man.
massive sword that he has.
It's not really of any use to me.
And he says it's very powerful. But again, I do not use a sword, I just like to have it. I think it looks very nice on my wall.
Cool, fair enough.
So
Magical swords in this.
the rest of the time, a magical sword looks rather dashing, I would say. So it goes down. The elevator gets down to the bottom, and it's not completely like it continues going down, but he stops on a certain level and manipulates the.
Can we see the
levers.
bottom?
It is.
Where he stops it?
What is your dark vision? It's only like 120 feet, right?
So nobody can use dark vision. I've got a torch. Can they use it anywhere?
It can you still
Oh,
use
okay.
it. Yeah.
They see past the torch.
If that was
So
the
it's
case, I
night
would-
vision goggles, so the light just blinds us. Turn that out.
I probably would.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
shut, what? Like the kid with the flashlight, straight into the face. Dad, look! Ugh.
So yeah, you get to one level, looking 120 feet down. It
It
still
keeps going?
continues going.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Do I hear water?
So 30 minutes.
Occasionally there is.
Oh, if I hear trickles of water, for sure, I'm using a corner.
So
30
so,
minutes?
Quick math. 30 minutes traveling at approximate speed. How
Oh my
deep
gosh.
do we go?
It's about probably about a mile down into the ground.
It's probably about 700 stones.
It's
That's
quite a-
3,483
Same wheels.
No,
Same
you can
wheels
use stones.
for-
You can line them up.
Aren't
So
they varying sizes?
so height is done in hands. So you
Oh,
would
okay. Like,
oh, a mile of
50,000
hands would be.
Human hands or halfling hands?
oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Or Goliath hands.
Human hands, the standard. So you get down to the level. On this platform, there is a dwarf who's sitting there, and he's dozing off, like he's just sleeping in a small wooden chair that's over on the side. He has a hammer that's just kind of like on the ground, resting on its head, and
Midshift.
on his on his belly is a book that's just kind of open and over his massive protruding stomach that he has there. It's just kind of like leaning over it like he fell asleep while he was reading a book.
Are we close? Are we walking by him?
Yeah,
Or do we
you
see-
will be walking by him. There's a single door, and it's like a 15-foot hallway until you get to the door, and he's like 10 feet in.
I have never seen a hammer like that, and I instantly want to touch it and grab it.
Okay. What is everyone else doing?
I want to just be like, do you go to?
Yeah, like I'm gonna go to the
I'm
hammer.
like,
and just,
Alright, Rolo takes the wire grating and pulls it.
we just
pushes it
got
up.
mad at Amir for trying to look in my bag.
but if he wakes up, then I'll just tell him like, oh, I was just wanting to check it out. I'm not trying to steal it. Once he doesn't wake up, then I'll totally steal it.
Rolo looks back to you guys as he's walking out. I don't want to wake this man up because he is very grumpy. So
Yeah, I thought we weren't trying to be in trouble while we got.
How about like on the way out?
He's gonna be awake.
he will sleep if we walk by. Is no problem. And then Rolo just walks over towards the door. So as you're going by, you
Give us a chance. You could do it last. You give
Yeah.
us a chance to walk through the door.
I'm like the second one walking through. I'm gonna grab the hammer as I walk through.
If you want to take it,
Well, stealth.
can I aid her?
What are you going
Oh
to do
yes.
to aid?
How is Amir gonna aid?
So if she is trying to take the hammer, maybe putting a counterweight like a stone.
Well, he's not even touching it. It's just
It's just
resting
an
on the
Oh,
ground.
it's resting on the ground. Never
Yeah.
mind.
I'm like, I'll just grab
I
it.
thought it was like he
In his hand.
still.
No, he's got the book on him.
Okay,
And
then
his
never
armor
mind.
that he's
I can't-
wearing.
Alarm.
I can't-
16.
Oh, alarm spell.
Is it just this and that's it?
Oh, yeah.
You said stealth first?
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, so you go over and go to lift it, and it's a lot heavier than it looks. Like it's a good sized hammer, and it's solid on the end, and so you pick it up, and everyone else is over by the door now at this point.
We sped walk.
Yeah.
It's just like,
So far,
So-
Steve took a wall sconce, she took a hammer. Like,
I
you're
traded.
stealing for.
You have it in your
Trade.
hands. What do you want to do with it?
I want to carry it. Just
Hey,
take it with me.
all right. You can try and clip it on your belt or something. Like it feels awkward in your hands, but you can tell that the weight has been balanced really well. Like just like
That's what I want to do. Exactly that. Like
Yeah.
as I'm walking around, I just want to like play with it.
swinging it a little. Yeah.
Does it have
Somebody's
dwarven
gonna
symbols on
recognize
it?
it.
There
You're like,
are
what are you doing
dwarven
with that?
symbols on this hammer.
It might happen.
They say Bill's hammer. If found, return
Can
to.
I
Just
read
turn to
it?
Sleeping Bill.
Do you read Dwarven?
Yeah.
So it does say in Dwarven script on the head of the hammer, Burrow Fist.
Oh,
Is that his name?
this is a magical hammer. I think it's named Burrow Fist.
It's
that's what
magical?
this is what- I don't know.
Just
You
a-
could ask Evendur, but
Amir just like, oh, it's a magic.
thi-
I can get
this,
detect magic on him.
this might be his name, the owner's name, or it could be a named hammer.
It's a power word.
Do you hear? Do you hear that? Are you close enough to where?
Yeah, you said like going through the door. Yeah, so like you walked up through the door. You got this in front of you. The group is kind of there, and there
I'm
is.
so happy right now.
It opens up into like a circular chamber where there are torches that are set on the walls, and it's very well lit in here.
I'll snuff out my thing and put it in my backpack.
Sure.
As he snuffs it out, it
Flipped
turned
out.
on. What thaumaturgy?
Man, I got really
Yes.
Smokey the Bear be
You
sad.
can definitely do that.
That would be awesome.
You lose
Yeah.
all your items.
I immediately, I'm like, Riven, quit it.
We're just laughing, playing with the hammer.
So in this room, like you walk through with the hammer, there are a few dwarves who are over there, and they're all talking, and one is in front of a desk that is it's a strange looking. It's hard to tell what material it's made out of, but it's not metal, and it's just there placed in front of him. It's not wood either, though. And he's looking over some like these papers that are on top of it, and Rolo walks in. And, hello, and the dwarf at the desk looks up. Oh, we got Rolo, everybody. All right. Rolo,
What did you steal?
are we going to be drinking this afternoon? I do not have time, my friend. No, we have to. So we are here to talk to the borough warden about our Thraman friend. Oh well. Well, we were just pouring over some reports there, but he looks around. It looks like you brought some of your friends.
So when he does that, I try to hide the hammer and use my cape to leg it. Like,
Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
I'm trying to steal a watermelon.
Gonna drop it on your foot.
14.
14. All right. He doesn't say anything about the hammer, but it is there. Like it's just like I'm trying to imagine where you could place this on your person because everything that you have is just kind of like easy to grab.
It would sag her like
Could
her
make
belt.
your weapon belt kind of like
Yeah.
hang to the side a little, but that's okay.
I do have
I want to like offset it with my tail, like on the other side.
Got it, yeah.
So I'm kind of like
Yeah, you're
Bring the
balancing
tail
it
around.
with the tail,
instead of just behind me.
right?
Or you could just, or you
I'm
could
just doing this.
you could drag the
Her
hammer.
tail's
you
literally
could drag the hammer
erect.
with her tail behind you. You could drag it on the floor.
I'm all, I just,
It
it's
doesn't
just,
have that
I
kind
don't
of
think this is a good
manipulative
idea.
control over it. It's more like a dog's tail in the sense that like you like
Is there a
if
spell
she's
for that?
nervous, then her tail will like flick in a certain fashion and stuff. Like it's kind of involuntary.
You have to like behind the horns if you wanted her to like you.
Right.
It'll curl a
Oh.
little bit.
Well, if you're going to see the Borough Order, yes, we have our friends here. They were talking. They want to help try and find these strawmen. Well, I don't know if we should have something in the records. And Rolo's just kind of looking. Dang it! Now I
That
gotta
would
think of
be
strong
awesome, yeah. Please do strong.
Oh, well. No. If you're going to, dang it, Rob,
Yep.
I can't. No.
You put him on the spot. Dude, we're screaming right now.
Strong bad, something
It
pants.
takes
What
a
is
lot to break me, but that totally broke me.
it? Well done.
And we're done.
And okay.
All right, next week.
Next week on, but no. Well, if we're going to have your little
I need you to
friends,
be like on an old, like DOS computer, like typing an email reply.
Just stones. Just
Yeah.
stones.
Hey, you guys aren't helping, man.
I'll at the very least going to have you sign the log.
He's gone into a scotch to get away from it.
So,
Yep, I sign.
all right. So.
I use a fake name.
Hold
Yeah, I
on,
use
registrar.
or
Just
Artificer.
put your names there and we'll,
Just scribble.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
put
I
my name
just
and then I
put
put a
that
heart. Let's do it.
A ribbon with the heart over the
after
eye.
it contains her in the log. Well, okay, very good. Okay, well,
I do not put my name. I put Abraham Lincoln or something.
okay, got it.
I'm faking too, so.
Yeah, thank you.
Very interesting. So, now I'm going in between the two accents. All right, so where can we find him then?
We need one more NPC
Yeah.
in this dialogue.
Yep.
Is there like another dwarf I can call?
There are
over?
other
There are
dwarves
other
in the
dwarves
room.
there,
They
yeah.
are working on their own thing. One of them is staring just like he can't take his eyes off of Riven. Like he's like trying to figure it out. Like what
Do
is
I see
happening?
him?
He's doing it in the open. Yeah, you can see that with your passive perception. Very
So I
easily.
wanna like try to flirt with him. Then at that point, just
So
to,
yes.
just to throw him off.
He's got like dark like he has been working in a
That one
mine,
is
like,
By the way, that looks like when they come out of the mines like that, it looks like they're wearing mascara. Like super thick mascara. It's the weirdest
Just
thing.
like soot. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just basically got soot from like a furnace that he's been working in front of. Like partial parts of his beard look
But
like
that's
they've
a
been like
that's a
singed.
man's man versus
Yeah.
a wizard.
Exactly. Like,
That's
I'd be
true.
more
Hasn't
I'd be
used
more
his
willing
hands
to even flirt with that than I would
For
have.
any labor.
Got it. So you wink at the dwarf, and the dwarf looks around and goes back to his paperwork and just looks down. The dwarf, well, it's what I do here. Dang it. So
This happened in the previous
Yeah.
one too.
there's three doors that lead from this room. He points to the one to your guys' left and rolls. Well, all right, thank you, my friend. And he turns around and then goes away. Oh, well, I can do one thing for you. And he takes the man's glass in front of them and then sprinkles some powder and then hands it back to him. Oh, there you go. And he hands it back, and it fills the cup with dwarven ale. So something he did. And he walks through the door on the left, and he takes you down a couple of hallways, and they kind of are starting to wind around. It's very disorienting here in the Underdark. Riven again pulls out her hammer and is like swinging like.
Lightsabering.
Yeah, pretty good.
Go ahead and make an attack roll,
Oh crap! I don't want to do that.
and you won't add your proficiency because you're not proficient with it.
Well, I'm not.
It'll be strength modifier.
Where is that at? Oh. Minus 1. So 6.
6. So you guys are walking ahead. Riven's kind of back swinging, and she goes overextends one of the times, and it just slams into the wall with this loud just as it breaks some of the rock.
Walk past it.
Rolo turns around. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. A dwarf opens one of the doors in the side hallway and just watches you guys as you're walking down the hallway. And
So I want to try to, at that point, I want to try to get back up to the front. Like or behind Rolo.
Got it. Are you
Like
still
passive back.
do you still have the hammer in your hand?
I'm trying to put it back.
Got it. Yeah.
Like hide it
So
again.
you
Like,
stow it
it's
again, and and through the winding passages, there's some stairs that go down that he takes you off of, and leads you into a corridor that ends and opens up into a more vaulted ceiling chamber. And you hear while you're walking down and just conversations in Dwarven and in Common going on in the different side rooms. There are dwarves that pass you occasionally, and they do a double take as they watch you walking by. Seeing tall folk walking around in their tunnels is not common. They kind of get out of your way as you're walking by. A couple of them are, "Oh, good day to ya," and they keep walking. And as you're getting near the end, the room itself has this great orange glow, and it's filling into the hallway. And the heat is kind of getting more and more uncomfortable as you get close to this room. But Rolo just walks straight towards it. He takes a little towel and dampens or wipes some of the sweat that's now coming onto his brow. And you have a smell of very, it's like a very hot, furnace-y smell. You just got the smell of ash mixed with metals and salt water. It's very strange. You move into the room, and
it just smells like a smithy, right?
It smells like a
I
smithy.
do smith work.
Yeah, so there's you hear hammers chiming on anvils, and as soon as you go into the room, it's full. Just this production is going on. There is these large furnaces that are open straight into the wall, so wherever the heat is coming from is on the other side, and they're putting objects in, pulling them out, hammering on them, and then putting them into to bathe into the saltwater brine.
Does it look like this is where they do any of the enchantment of the magic items or the iron bits that they make down here?
It most certainly could be. If you would like to make a perception check,
I would like to have maybe ask Evendur if that's what they're doing.
Yeah, you could roll an Arcana check to
Alright.
determine if any of this is enchanting of weapons.
16.
So, there aren't any, they don't look like wizards in this room, but they look like master smiths. So, you haven't really run into dwarves personally, in this capacity where they are at their craft doing things. You just know that the rumor of weapons that have been forged by smiths are created they're almost flawless. And the flawlessness itself might have magical qualities to it.
Am I allowed to purchase weapons in that area?
You could certainly try.
Everything's for sale.
Everything's for sale.
Everything has a price.
That's right. So Rolo takes you to one dwarf who he's Currently, he has a stone, and he's running it along the edge of one of these blades that has recently been created, making its edge nice and sharp. And it is a long sword that he's working on. And he sees you guys approach, and Rolo introduces the group and says that you're here to find Thramen. And he explains, for the sake of brevity, that they are currently organizing an expedition, but it will take them about 3 days to gather everybody.
We could do it in no time. I wouldn't put it on top of that thing yet.
We'll pass them through.
Yeah, I really don't know what. How,
Um,
yeah, I'm looking at like a lumpy spot over there, wondering what's going on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It smells delicious.
So,
Pregnant, barefoot, in the kitchen. Are you barefoot?
Exactly how women should be, right?
No.
pregnant barefoot.
I love it. Robin should be in there trying to make some more money. That's what she should be doing.
I made $200 in an hour.
I'm
Hey,
just kidding.
Hey.
that's fantastic.
Somebody got plenty of B.
That's right. So he explains that they have a patrol that they're going to be gathering about 3 days off. However, if you were going to head out, then he can take you to the nearest place where they left the patrol to go into the mithril area, and then after that, you guys would kind of be on your own to find out where that happened.
Martha's gonna ask, since we're gonna save you time preparing our supplies, can we get some potions or anything?
Like
'Cause-
healing potions.
Yeah.
Provisions.
Provisions.
Yeah.
Well, what'll it be, lad? What exactly are you looking for in provisions?
We'll be looking for maybe
Healing
some
potions and
yes,
ale.
healing
Oh,
potions.
ale we can handle, yes.
Since we'll be helping you saving some supplies, or at least how big of a party were you planning on staying down the next 3 days?
Oh, well, if we were going to send them, then it would probably be around 100 of our dwarves would probably be sending out into
Oh,
the
wow.
tunnels.
What? How much is that worth in provisions? You would have saved if we could get him.
Obviously, because it's all of them, it would be, dwarves eat quite a lot, so it's a little bit different than, but if you are going to go out, wait, hold on, I'm going back to Russian. Dang, I need to listen to a Scottish accent. Well, what can I do for you? Nope, that's not gonna be it. Okay, this is important. I need to do this right now. Here we are.
Is that a bad spot? I'm gonna keep eating. I already know.
Yeah, those are good.
Well, if you're going to be going down, then we'll have to give you whatever you'll need then.
How many potions can you spare for us?
Oh, for the potions. Well, Thramen himself is one of our chief potion makers, but we can
I
probably
could
give
craft
you.
potions if you give me the ingredients.
We don't have time for that, lad. If you're gonna be going down, then I'll give you one each. Sound good?
How about 2?
Oh.
We don't know what we're up against.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion
Yeah,
check.
Martha's gonna help.
An advantage with the persuasion check.
16 and 16.
Tell you what, I'll give all of you 1. I'll give you 2.
Well, thank you. Appreciate
There you
that.
go, lass. Why don't you enjoy yourself a healing potion?
For that, I will give you this hammer. That I
He
found.
grabs the hammer from you.
This looks familiar.
That's why I tell him, like, your guy was sleeping on the job, just so you know. So I want you to. So I took his hammer to play with it, but I don't actually intend to take it. I just wanted to see what it felt like. So here's your hammer back.
Well, for sure we're going to have to play a joke on Burrowfist then. He takes the hammer and puts it
Oh,
down
that
on the
was
ground.
his name.
And, Einkill.
Are you willing to sell any of your finely crafted swords?
Oh, Oh, you're looking for a finely crafted sword then, are you?
Yes, preferably a small to medium-sized one-handed sword that can help me in battle.
There's a very specific requirements. Are you looking for dwarven size or for human size?
Dwarf, whichever is small enough for a wizard like me to manage in one hand only.
Oh, we got ourselves a wizard, lad. And a couple of the guys go, oh, coming over from the second. All right, well, I'm sure Rolo can take you to the shops, and well, when are you planning on leaving?
Like now, right?
Pretty
We're
soon,
playing
yeah.
now, but-
We're gonna embark really soon.
Yeah.
here.
But if we
Next
get
couple hours.
provision up.
Tell you what, I can make one for you, and by the time you'll get back,
Mhm.
it'll be nice and for you. With he looks you over, and well, with those little spindly arms of yours, you should be able to wield it just fine.
Do you have any dwarven arrows? My bow.
Now arrows
Humans
not
both.
Bolts.
completely our thing, but we do have things for crossbows.
That's what I meant.
I
That's what I have.
Yeah,
I have a
yeah,
crossbow.
yeah. Amir just said that. Because he's the smith too.
if you're going to be
Amir
using
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
a crossbow, we do have we have our own bolts that we fashion here, but again, that's up in the shop area. We don't keep it down here with us.
Would you be willing to trade some of my arrows, some of my bolts for your bolts?
Well, I look at yours. You got it made of wood. Ours are made of mostly iron down here, so.
Can I buy some off of you?
We're willing to, but of course it's all up in the shop
Yeah,
area.
it's 1 mile up.
A mile up?
It's up in the shop area.
No,
Can we
not
take the
quite all the way
elevator?
What
up.
about,
It's
what about,
2 levels up.
2 levels.
what about heavier armors?
If you're looking for armor, see, yeah, they all have it up in the shop area. That's what I'm telling you.
No,
Is
I
there
need
a-
this-
So we need to go to the shop
I need
area.
this
Yeah.
custom
It
made.
sounds like we need to go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just telling him I need a custom made, not like a standard suit of armor.
Off the rack.
Well, we do weapons in this forge. If you were gonna custom make some armor, then you'd have to go talk to one of the armorers.
Where are they at in this place?
They're about 3 passages down.
Oh,
You should have passed them on your way here.
Do they sell canaries?
No, we don't keep any birds down here.
Okay.
This is a mine though, right?
Aye.
Alright.
Do you have any drow detection?
Poison gas detection, yeah.
Yeah,
What is
drow.
the word you're using?
Dark elf?
One of them,
Black,
like your friend would.
but dark.
Do you
I'll
not,
be
do you
there.
not know, you've never seen a black elf before?
I've never personally seen a black elf. This is actually only my first time seeing an elf. They only talk about them in the schools.
So I look at Rolo.
I don't think Drow's common in these
hey, could I leave and walk
would
back
know.
down the corridor?
What?
Can I leave to go see if I can find an armor?
You can.
What campaign is this? Sometimes Drow's are kind of.
Are drows rare?
So
They're probably
Big-
like unheard of.
on the surface,
I have never once seen a dragon and I know exactly, I could draw you a picture of one though.
No, but
So could half of the
I
world.
don't think people see drow and
So there is like the rumor of like these nightmare things that come out at the night on the surface. That is what is given the word drow, where they talk about these black elves that have come in. And
So that's how we felt about it as well. We felt like the boogeyman took him, not
Right.
drow. Okay, shouldn't have come.
Yeah.
Definitely need to go find a statue. Go by the gift shop on the way up.
I'm good with that.
This is nuts.
do I feel?
I really
do I
like
feel
this
any
character
sort of-
and I die a lot.
So why are we not? So you're saying this is a demon or something? Or
No, like character wise, we think as it's basically ghost stories. Like we don't know these Drows. I'm thinking just elves. I think
Right.
Bartholomew just
Do you-
seeing stuff. I'm saying, oh, these are spies, these elves. And that's why Mark says,
Do I
Yeah, I
know-
shiver.
yeah.
Hey Ben, do I know my gut if it's related to the vision I seen of me surrounded by like dark figures? Would
you
they look like
It was
thinner?
all. It was like just red eyes and shadow. Like you didn't actually
Oh,
see
okay.
any of those
As I
creatures.
was.
Riven did see a creature that was
Right.
massive with sharp teeth and red scale hide.
But I don't think that,
I
that
don't,
they
I don't
described
think that's
that
a drought.
in the ambush. Did he?
Who?
Rolo or whatever.
He said that there were strange elves with black
Strange
skin.
elves.
Yeah, that's what Martha just thought it was like probably just elves in that mine where they probably covered in soot.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're drought
Yeah.
elves. I don't really, I'm not that
Yeah.
concerned.
Well, so would we even know that drow elves exist, or all we know of is high elves and wood elves? So they could be wood elves with dark.
Well, even
like
amongst
soot
like
or paint on
the
them.
the wood elf community that you grew up with and everything, it was a similar thing. Like you grew up hearing of these stories where there would be no survivors, and there were people who had gone dancing in a glade or something, and then when people went to go check on them, their body parts were strewn everywhere, and there was just a huge massacre. And they were all with like elven type blades, like really thin. There wasn't like heavy cuts from axes or things like orcs carry around. It was mostly like it looked like an elf had done it, but no one could ever talk about it. So it was all rumored that. There's never actually been any sighting that you know of personally.
That's good to know.
So.
Riven's not scared. It might be out of
Just
stupidity,
Yeah,
but
they're just elves.
I just feel like maybe they're tougher elves, but I'm not worried about it.
So, what do your characters want to do? Benjen wants to leave.
I know y'all are.
Amir has gone to go
shopping.
check out the armor.
Shopping. Well, when he's come back down here for that sword, or will he be waiting up?
If we live.
Yeah, why can't you get a sword now? I
You
know
can
you-
come see
I
me
guess
on your
because
way
it takes
out, and I'll.
They don't have his size. His,
Well, get
human
something else that's your size from the shop, and then trade it back in for the sword.
Well, look at his arms.
How big is it?
Yeah, he's got a little twig for arms there.
Oh, you're not capable of. Shut up.
He is gonna cast fireball.
So anything I could select right
Resistance.
now? How big is this sword?
Yeah.
Tell you what, he pulls from behind him. He has a sheathed weapon. He takes it off his belt buckle and hands it to you. And it's very heavy. Like you gotta grab it, and it's like, and you make a show like this is fine.
But
Like in
a
your
disc,
hands,
a
like-
disc slips. Yeah. So
Tell
side
you what,
note,
you
side
can
note,
borrow me one.
I have a resin replica of one of the swords from The Hobbit, and it's the dwarven one. And just because it's wide, it is. I mean, it's not tall. It's probably this tall, and it is crazy heavy.
Really?
And it's not even metal.
It's probably like 60 pounds.
And then I have a real sword, and it's not near as light. It's probably not 16, but it's 8 pounds easily. It's awkward.
Dense.
Yeah.
So what's so special about this sword? What can you do for me?
Well, you cut and poke people with it, lad. If you don't know how to use it, stick the pointy end at the bad guy, and that'll be it.
Any kind of magical attributes?
Oh no, only the magic of cutting your enemy up and
I'm all.
feeling
You
the
look
rush.
good.
No use for
You
me.
look super cool,
You do look good at it.
I will say this.
and you're a wizard. And she
Yeah,
said,
then just cast spells instead.
So at your
Yeah.
size, it's actually
Yeah.
more like a short sword size.
Yeah.
But it's very like weighted and heavy. So.
I'll take a look at the gift shop later. Thank you very much. It's very funny.
That's what I was thinking, lad. He takes and bucks it back on. If you're going to be heading out, just let me know. I can go lead you to the tunnel.
"Yep, we're gone. Let's go
Thanks.
So,
to our doom."
Wait.
Amir has gone now.
I wanted to get something from the. I wanted to get the arrows.
Oh, yeah.
The bolts.
2 levels up.
I mean, they can head out, and I can go with Rolo.
We'll wait until you come back. We'll wait at the doorway.
Evendur, are you going with?
I'll go with you to the gift shop.
Benjen,
Okay.
are you going to the shops as well?
No.
I can't afford anything to go to shop, so.
Benjen and
I got
Martha are going to
27
be sitting
gold.
there waiting for you guys to get back.
It's
Amir, you go over and
I literally cannot
go ahead and roll an
afford
investigation check.
Martha's broke. Broke.
I mean, yeah, gold. Have some gold.
Because
15?
27 goes for food.
Okay,
You
yeah.
gotta live, you gotta pay rent.
It doesn't take you too long. It was indeed one of those doors that
You
you
gotta feed those
passed.
horses, we have
Yeah.
And
wagons.
you hear this
Oh,
the
yeah.
familiar chiming coming from inside. And
Well, they can be
open the
fed
door.
at the,
and
with his.
The difference in between this room and the other room is they have some type of natural spring in this room that they're using to create this water trough. And because of that, the room is incredibly humid. Like it feels like you just walked into a steam room. Like all of the dwarves that are in there, they all have.
It's gonna smell like body.
Yeah,
Just like body.
it smells like sweaty bodies in here. And,
But it feels in
I
the
wouldn't go up there.
there are a couple of and this is something that you notice in both rooms. It's a chimney exit, like an exhaust, where that smoke is just kind of going up towards the ceiling and then billowing out from it. So it doesn't collect in the room. People don't die from carbon monoxide poisoning. But wherever that goes, it's somewhere on the surface, probably that it leads to. But there are people, and they're working on these. They're different looking anvils, specifically to shape and curve the armor so that it will fit over a person. And they're working, and an elf walks in the room.
Do they all stop?
Are you lost, lad? A girl, a female dwarf, says, looking at you.
Oh,
You're the elf that walked in.
I say in Dwarven, I'm not lost. I'm here for to ask more about a
Killing contract.
potential
Targets.
yes, potential buy. I'm looking for some full plate,
Oh,
the best.
Deliver some
who
gifts.
let you in, lad?
Yeah.
How'd you even find yourself in here?
Oh, I'm with that psychotic wizard that everyone seems to trust, Rolo the Red. Hey,
Oh,
that's
you're
his
walking
name.
around with Rolo, the human fella.
Yeah. I don't like
Oh.
that man. But
Very well
anyhow.
then. Well, it looks like you got lost from your party, lad.
Well, they're right outside the door, and I thought I might ask or inquire to see if
He's
there's
having your experience.
any way I could either purchase a set, or if maybe we could exchange some smithing ideas.
This is an elf. You want to wear armor?
Yes, I've been a smith for the better part of 100 years.
No, a smith elf. No one's ever heard of such a thing.
Smurf. Of course not.
Smurf?
Yeah, Smurf.
Someone who works in it. No, lad.
He's
you're-
gonna kill her. You
I
better
don't
stop
know
him.
what you
No,
what
they're
you were
outside.
told, but
Oh,
everybody knows the elves only wear like tree branches and they wear the leaves and the other things.
Bark
are there.
armor.
Dance around in the trees and laugh and play. But what you're doing? You're talking about wearing armor.
Racist insults.
Yep.
I
Sell him flowers.
I know that you're joking, but it's very irritating. Let me show you something. I take out a book that I have of
Just
like
dead people.
inscriptions.
Ears.
It's a book of inscriptions and recipes.
Okay.
Not that she would know anything about it, but I tell her that
Yeah.
I have arcane training to
Scrapbook.
bind, certain magic to armor.
Very well. I'll have a look if you don't mind. Do you hand her the book? For what? You're showing
Because
the
you were
book.
showing it to.
Oh, sure. You won't understand any of it, but here, take a look.
We'll understand. Well, who's gonna understand an elf? She looks over a couple of pages.
And I also do have some schematics for stuff I've dreamed of, I guess you could say, or that
Here's all the ideas.
came to me in like visions
36
or
later.
Yeah.
whatever.
She looks down at a couple of things and takes the book and kind of like holds it in different ways, and you're just thinking she has no idea what she's
Yeah.
looking at. Well, very interesting. Tell you what,
Did you take your medicine today?
I'll give you one of me hammers, and we'll see what you can do with it.
Okay.
She pulls out one of her. It's a weighted hammer, so that the point itself will pound, and you recognize this. Like she's handing it to you, like someone who didn't know what they were doing would hammer this like a regular hammer that's meant to blunt and impact it. They would hammer it like that when it's meant to actually kind of bend the edges. It's meant to like kind of at a point like add creases into the metal. So she hands it to you, and a couple of the other dwarves stop what they're doing, and they're covering their mouths like watching you. And she brings you over to one of the tables where it's laid over on the edge, and she has been working on trying to get the shoulder plates formed in this overlapping armor. Well, go ahead and try it out, lad. So, are you going to go ahead? Go ahead and roll a crafting check.
I don't know what that
You're
is.
going to add proficiency because you have smithing
Yes.
experience. And you are going to add, it would be your dexterity bonus
Okay.
to your proficiency. 19. Yeah, so you shift the armor a little bit from where it was and begin working the corner, and it creates this like seamless, like it looks like the armor came out in the way that it was. And a couple of the dwarves like slap other dwarves that are doing things. Look, you're never gonna believe what's happening. We got an elf working the smithy, and they all crowd around you, and they're all like whispering amongst themselves. And the lady. She pulls her little like cap that she's wearing off and straightens some of the scruff that's growing on her face. And oh well, you weren't lying. I apologize for what I said. This is one of the most magical things I've ever seen. Who's gonna believe that an elf came down into a dwarf smithy and was doing a perfect 4x4 over the corner? Hi.
So
Beautiful thing.
I don't currently have enough funds to purchase a full plate armor, but I'd be willing to exchange elven forging techniques that.
I don't know if we'll need any elven forging techniques.
Well, what I offer is
I won't kill you.
lighter technique in which you get the same durability of armor but lighter. I know dwarves are stout, but you can increase mobility and speed.
You don't need to
Just
worry
as strong but
about
light, you mean?
Yeah.
But he has to give 6 months though.
However, we do have one of our friends who lives down here who has already shown us how to lighten the metal. So
What about
we haven't had any trouble since Sindri's been around.
Dendron?
I've heard of that name before.
Aye.
Where is this person at? I would like to
Kill him.
Well, Sindri,
Oh,
he
Sindri.
He's the gnome.
lives off of the clan master's chambers, so it'd be really well. You'd have to request an audience with him. It's not something you don't just go up and talk to Sindri, but he makes his rounds. So if you do see a little gnome walking around, there's 2 gnomes, him and his wife. They make the rounds.
and they both do these
No,
creations, or is it just him?
Ranaka is just there for companionship, and she's the love of his life. So they travel together.
I just have this huge fake smile, and I'm like, that sounds wonderful. I can't wait to meet this crafter as well. And if
If anything's been stranger than seeing an elf who can handle a hammer, then I don't know if ever such a thing could exist. But if you're looking to trade...
what was his wife's name?
Oh, Ranaka. But if you're looking to trade for the armor, what do you have in recompense besides
elven crafting techniques.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Not much at the moment. I guess I will.
Is this all that brought you down in the mine then?
What was your name?
Oh, you can call me Eindred.
Eindred?
Aye. Eindred Fireforge.
Well, Eindred, I have to be going so as I don't fall behind for my group.
Aye.
But thank you for talking to me. When I do have enough gold to purchase, I may come to you, or I may just craft it myself, since you guys don't seem to be that skilled after all. Thank you. And then I
A
just,
couple of the guys start snickering at the insult to Eindred, and she looks around confused. Did an elf just tell me that he knows how to craft better than... And the door closes behind you as you exit. The others that have headed up to the shop area, so Rolo has to go with you because you don't know how to really manipulate the levers to move the elevator up. He takes you up 2 levels. It takes 5 minutes, and no, it takes like 2 minutes. Sorry. Going up, and you get up to that level, and that entire level, it looks like they have created it so that they can have their weapons and armor on display. They've got all the things available. There's also what looks like probably a barracks quarters where if guards need to be called upon or an army needs to come out really quickly, then they can all quickly just grab everything from the armor and then go. But there are crossbow bolts that appear to be either of mithril or of iron or steel. And then there are swords there as well. And you could try and find one that's weighted for you, but because you're not proficient with it, it'll all feel a little bit awkward.
I'm just looking for the bonuses that the swords grant if I'm magical in any way.
Oh,
Not
I see.
necessarily to wield them.
You're just going to try and find magic stuff.
Yeah.
Got it.
I want the mithril bolts.
Okay. So, they say that it is going to be 1 gold piece for every mithril bolt if you
I
want to
feel
buy
like
it.
it's a lot.
you're filthy rich.
I don't care. I'm also cheap.
I would like to wander and see if I can talk to another dwarf and see where the...
Oh, you're trying to find
Main-
Sindri or where the...
Yeah.
Okay, go and roll an investigation check.
Sure.
And do you want to buy any mithril bolts? They have assured you that as long as the body hasn't fallen into somewhere where you can't retrieve it, that the arrows or the crossbow bolts are indestructible. That's what they say. Who knows if that is true?
Yes. I'll get, what, is it a dozen?
It'll be 12 gold.
Yeah. I'll do that, but I also want to ask if they have any bracelets made of platinum by chance.
No, we don't have any. Now you're looking for bracers? Bracers are like armbands that
Nope.
are metal.
The decorative bracelets made of platinum.
Who heard such a thing? Sounds like old Thraman is rubbing off on the people on the surface there. I don't know. I'm sorry, lass, but we only have weapons and armor here. If you're looking for a jeweler, I'd say look up at on the surface. Them human folk like their jewelry.
Okay.
And there are they have rings inside
In their
their beards and
yeah.
stuff, and from their hair and stuff. So there are magic weapons that you have found, and they are very fine quality, and they look very expensive.
Is there anything like? Oh, go ahead.
How expensive are they talking?
So for +1 weapon, it's probably going to be in the 2,000 to 3,000 gold market
Plus one to what?
to the weapon.
Attack
So it
damage.
attack and
Just
damage,
damage. Right?
No, we have to use the weapon.
but you have to use it. So it would be, you know, they have spears, they have staves, they have swords, they have daggers, they have hammers, they have
I'm gonna go.
axes.
I'm gonna go to the shopkeeper and ask him, hey, do you have any magical items that could aid someone in combat?
They look around.
Points at
No, I don't like magically imbued
They're
weaponry, not just.
look at they're all going to help you in combat.
Yeah, I know that, but
You're looking for like one that has magical effects.
yeah.
So she reaches over and grabs a sword, or he grabs the sword and holds the blade up. So you're looking for something like this, then, and then the blade just engulfs in flames.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'll burn you a little bit and leave you a little mark to talk about later.
Is it heavy?
He extinguishes the flame. Would you like to hold it?
Sure.
He hands it to you. It doesn't feel incredibly heavy. It's more like 3 pounds. And it's very well weighted, so it feels like it's not like tip heavy, and it's not like you're like swinging like this because the hilt is so heavy. It's very well balanced and it cuts well through the air. Yeah, it's about 3 pounds.
That's the only thing cool it does. It just engulfs itself in flames.
The only cool thing, what are you looking for then?
Like magic missile or
He's hard
Those
to
are more
impress.
wands.
anything? Yeah, is there
You're
anything?
looking for lizards. We have only several of them, but they're all down to the bottom level.
That's where you want to go.
Keep mostly themselves. They don't come up here. What are they gonna do with a sword?
How long does it take to get down to the bottom level?
Well, from here probably more 5 minutes. So.
That's
You
where
want-
we're at, right?
No, it goes down further.
Do you want to go check it out? Because I'm interested to see if you have any other magical items, not swords, but like
It's like in general.
yeah, just in
magic
general, like
items.
or anything that's just strikes my fancy, basically. Like that magic gem that I had once upon a time that I no longer have. It's very interesting to
In
me.
a dream.
In a dream, yeah. I had a vision of having a magic gem of scarring.
I can see what.
Yeah,
that
sure.
would
Let's
Or
hit
a
it
bag
up.
of holding, for example.
Let's hit that shop up and see what they got.
be. All right. So your comrades have been gone for several minutes longer than you were
They're dead. We
expecting.
proceed without them.
No, Marcus assumed they're doing their usual thing. They're gonna take a while, so she sits down
Yeah.
and just waiting.
All right. So we'll say, for the sake of brevity, Rolo does take you down, and they get to where the wizard's entrance is, and he looks to you. No, I don't know for certain. I've never actually talked to many of the wizards, so I can't guarantee anything. But if you can make yourselves a case in front of one of the wizards, then maybe they'll let you in. And he bangs on the door and then steps over to the side, and the little slot slides open, and
I'll let you go try first just because you are a wizard. So I feel like they might, but I have a backup plan in case it goes south very quickly.
Okay. Well, hello. Looking to buy some wizarding goods. I'm a wizard myself.
Just immediately.
Some
I'm a wizard
human guy
myself,
this time.
And I was looking to see if I could purchase something from you guys for a good price, of course.
The coupon. I have a coupon.
I got the punch card.
You guys have,
This is my 10th visit.
5-star rating.
I'm a Yelp reviewer.
Yeah.
I asked Rolo, is on bearer? Does she work here?
did you find yourself in this mine?
Oh, our good friend Rolo the Wizard is right next to us. He brought us on.
Hello. He like takes his head up.
Roller's trying to hide.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, but what are you exactly looking for?
Do you guys have any like magical items that'll help somebody in combat? You know, something
Well,
that'll.
We
provide a
do
bluff.
have certain artifacts of great power, but they belong to the wizards of
Ask if they have any tapestries.
the Grisable clan.
We have many types.
Stuff.
Anything for sale?
They belong to the clan. I cannot say for certain if we are going to be giving them away to one human and one human.
That's messed up.
How about if I provide 2,000 gold pieces?
Oh, we're being way too
2,000 just to see the collection?
No.
Well, I mean, to buy something of my choosing.
2,000 is not a worthy price to buy one of our artifacts. They have more sentimental and intrinsic value and as well functionality for the clan.
Oh, come on, everything has a price.
Of course everything has a price. And I will say, for 2,000 coins you can look at the collection.
There's gotta be some pretty gnarly magic pieces.
I feel like this is going downhill.
Well,
Does.
alright,
So
well.
I want to jump in
Okay.
Sure.
and explain to him that I had a vision and tried to explain what this demon looks like, and I feel that it is going to be coming after a friend of ours who's taken, and he is associated with the dwarves who are in this mine with you. And so I'm
Who
trying
is
to.
this friends that you are talking about?
Do I want to do that? Yes.
That's your
So
call.
our friend Raman has relayed to us that he has been.
He doesn't know you guys
I
exist.
know.
Wait, is this shaman he belongs to the Gossamer clan?
Wait, the wizard doesn't even know that?
Yes,
Like,
he
who
does.
is
He
this
does?
person?
Telling the truth, yeah, he does.
Okay.
100%.
Yes. Yes.
Well, what
Yeah.
is it? Why he's not one of the wizards? Why?
Different planes.
He-
You're saying he's missing?
Yeah, that's what
He
I'm
has
saying.
gone missing,
Not everyone
and he has a
knows
friend,
that.
a friend, and
Oh, he
Associate?
was part of the excavation for them. Well,
so we're wondering if we could potentially have some of your goods to help us in our efforts to.
well, we were
Bring
going
it
to
back.
send one of our wizards to the scouting party and expedition, but it was a last-minute change, and we did not go. So, what specifically are you looking for?
I don't know what you have to offer us.
Oh, well, I would like something specific in mind if you
Like
have it. So I can-
a particular wand or a
Well,
magic
we do have
missile
wands.
or
Any kind of magical jewelry, crafts, trinkets.
do have some
anything that
magical
can help
jewelry.
us not only find him, like locate him and find him, but potentially ahead of time let us know what his situation, like who has him.
Well, I do not know what happened to the expedition.
You don't.
They might be dead. I do not know.
We have found out that they're not dead.
Well, this is all information that I have not received.
So our wizard friend Rolo.
Hello.
At this point, Rolo's like,
They're outing me. They're
Yeah.
outing.
Go ahead. Make a persuasion check.
Oh,
with
my
advantage.
cover.
That's not
You
good.
sell it to
I
them.
know. 19.
19.
nice.
He looks back around and starts speaking in Dwarven. Do you speak Dwarven?
I speak Dwarven, yeah.
Okay, so you hear him saying, I don't know what we're going to do. If they are going to go, then maybe this will save us the trouble. We could maybe just give them something. Oh, no, don't give them anything. You've got to show them. And okay, and another dwarf looks in the slot. I don't know what this. What are you? I've never seen a person with horns in the tail.
So I'm a tiefling, but I run
Tiefling.
with. I'm the only one in my group,
Okay.
and
So we don't have these devils lurking about then. Tieflings.
there are no others like me walking around in my party.
Well, yes. Okay. Well, we would like to see what, if you don't mind, we would like to very quickly examine to make sure that you do not provide a threat to.
If you will let me Inside.
Oh, of course. It's the thing shuts and then the door opens.
Are you talking about frisking them?
They are there. There are three wizards, and they're all wearing these robes that are like so long they're like dragging on the floor behind them, and
Those
they're
are human robes?
they at one point. They come over and they're walking up to you. They're like about like stomach level, like children like walking up. Okay, what's you talking about? And then they begin drawing these arcane symbols in the air in front of you, and one of them, their eyes are glowing red while they're looking at you both, and
Can I make an Arcana check on that?
yes.
What kind of like?
Well, you recognize the spell. They're doing detect magic.
Oh, okay.
And they're looking over you. Anything that you have magical on you is they are able to see.
Alright, so
All I have is my carpet.
Got it.
Rolled up.
so they
Yeah.
see.
Oh, they see that.
Oh, why is she coming around this I don't know, but it is magic. Okay. It is fine to be. So they come in and they have a couple of chambers, and there are books just like stacked on the floor, on shelves. It looks like a huge mess, like an unorganized. Like papers are just scattered everywhere. You're like having to move around so that your tail doesn't like accidentally knock things over as they're guiding you through this kind of street. Yeah, that like the floor itself has like walkways through these stacked books that are on the ground, and it looks like they have very specific ways to travel through and navigate through all of this. Okay, it is very important that you not touch anything. We have it very well organized, and we do not want to reorganize it.
I will not touch anything here.
They take you through a couple of doors, and there's a dwarf in one room who's standing on a table on one leg and is balancing this strange orb in his hand. And another wizard on the other side is moving his hands around and manipulating what's going on. I don't know what kind of test they're doing. It looks awkward, whatever they're doing. But the dwarf there sees you all walk in and makes a look and then loses his balance and falls over into a pile of books that are on the table, cursing in Dwarven. And he takes you into another long room where there are like staves on the wall. There's a few people who are sitting in there, and they're reading in these large, like they're oversized for dwarves, probably regular like human-sized chairs that are way comfy, and they're just like in there and they're reading these books that are in front of them. One of them looks like he's drawing and copying a scroll into his spellbook, and
Fixtures.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna ask them.
he goes over to one of the walls and slides what was a stone, like it just looked like a straight stone wall, and slides it down, and inside is this shelf where these wands are very particularly placed.
Like felt.
Yeah, like
A fancy display.
very fancy, like very well kept secret here.
So what's the difference in the ones that you have here?
Well, we have several different ones. We have this one will throw fireballs. This one will throw magic missiles. This one is a wand of telekinesis. And we are very proud of our collection, but there's a lot more, but you can assume that there's probably like duplicates or ones that have maybe expired, like the charges have all run out and they're trying to find a way to recharge it. There are a couple of rings in there, and they say that the rings, one of them will grant a protection, so the ring of protection.
From what?
So it gives you advantage on saving throws,
Oh man, that is super useful.
and ring of protection.
If it's like the amulet of protection, it's +1 to AC and +1 to all of your saving throws.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Ring of protection.
I have one, but that was like the one magic item I got.
Let's 1 to AC and saving throws while wearing this ring. There is a ring of regeneration.
Ooh, I don't know what that does.
And then
You guys
Yeah.
are still shopping?
there is a ring of
That's half of our
Earth
game.
Elemental Command.
And,
Oh wow. It's overrated.
so I'm interested in.
Don't buy it.
Well, so here's the deal. So I don't necessarily want to buy these things.
Oh, dear.
I don't want to steal them. I'm talking to you out loud. Like,
Okay.
so I don't want.
As a dungeon master. You're talking to me as Amber talking to
No.
Ben. Oh, as Riven talking
Yes.
to Nameless Dwarf.
So
Number
what
5.
what kind of system can we set up?
Kilvar. His name is Kilvar.
That's a really cool name.
Strong bad.
What can we do to where I can borrow this for our journey while we find our friend and then return them
What specifically are you wanting to borrow?
the magic missile and the
Yeah.
radio protection?
We just there's layaway.
Yeah, we.
Yeah.
Young lady, I cannot say we can let you borrow, but if you would like to leave your carpet for collateral, we will be willing to allow you to leave your carpet here so that we can study it and
How much for the ring of protection?
ring of protection for you. Let's say along the lines of 3,000 gold pieces.
How about I get all 3 rings for? How does
You
6,000?
can't attune to all of those at once, I don't think.
No, I can't. But over time, yeah.
Oh, hey, sorry.
So ring
I know they don't do anything for me, but I can buy it.
ring of regeneration, ring of Earth Elemental Command, and the ring of protection. You want to know?
That's awesome.
No, he counter offered instead of 6,000 for the ring of protection, 6,000 for all three.
For all 3 of them.
That's a sweet deal.
For how much?
For 6,000.
For 6,000? No, we cannot.
Well, what's your price then?
For the 3
Who
rings?
else are they going to sell them to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the pitch.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
are artifacts that belong to the Gusaba clan. If you are going to buy them indefinitely, then we can let them go probably for 20,000 gold pieces.
20,000.
20,000.
For the 3, yes.
You just said one of them was 3,000.
They're not.
They're not all
The
valued.
ring of
They're not all
They're all
protection.
not valued the same.
The ring of protection, of course, is about 3,000.
And the other 2 are. I don't know.
There's a ring of regeneration, yes. It will bring you back from the dead if you have died.
Yeah.
Don't you are wearing it?
How much for that?
For the ring of protection, I would let it go for 12,000 gold pieces.
I thought you just said 3,000.
No,
Well,
Not
if
the
you're
ring
going
of,
to-
ring of
Like,
serious.
there's an engagement ring and an anniversary ring and
The
some
whole set.
diamond studs.
Yeah, gotcha.
You're not.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
the whole deal. You get the whole deal.
Yeah.
So my carpet is worth far more
Yep.
than all
Well,
of
we
this.
do not know that. We haven't studied it.
Well, I'm telling you,
Oh,
it's
well.
worth far more. So in order for me to allow you to study it while we're gone, I would be willing to do that
Well played.
for your collection.
Actually, we can let's go over all of it. What if there's the attacks? What if there are
You're
orcs
wizards.
or ogres?
I'm not asking for the spares. You can still work on your spares and recharging them. I'm just talking about the ones that are displayed here. You're the rings and the wands.
For the
Dang.
carpet.
Nice.
If you allow me, madam, I would like to see the carpet first.
You bet. Sure.
Takes it from you.
See if she'll
And one of the other wizards who's had a parchment in front of him rolls it up, puts it on the ground, walks over. And it looks kind of funny because they're all small people. Like you guys are like way taller than all these people. And he goes up to it. Do you mind if I take this out? You got to talk to me. It's you just want to take it out. Okay, what's all okay, hold on 1 second. And he pulls out a piece of paper, begins writing down, draws these symbols in the air, and you recognize it as the spell of identify. And he begins doing indefinitely carry people forever. It is magical carpets and an invitation or something. It is flying. It is a flying carpet. I have never seen such a thing. Why would we need it? We are in the mines. We do not need to fly this thing.
Good point.
But there is, we should
Top,
expand
bad cop,
that
don't
knowledge.
worry.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I will give you up to Caesar ones, and the 3 wings, and you may take it, and we will study the carpet when you are away.
And we will trade back.
Oh, of course,
When we
yes, you
return.
will have it back if you will give us our things back.
I will do that. If you want to study it fully, you're going to need to know the password. So in order to get the password, I will need the other
I
wands.
think identified tells them.
If we,
Does it?
I think so.
they know that they can.
Figure it
Well,
out.
you can roll a deception check if you want to tell them that they can't figure it out on their own.
Sure.
And I'll roll insight.
16.
Yeah. Oh, if you want, I think she is. Yes. I don't know. We will have to study it in order to find out if this is true or not. I do not know. They okay, very well. What is specifically are you looking for in exchange for the password?
For the other, were there 2 other wands that were up there? Or was there one?
There's a wand of magic missiles. There's a wand of fireballs. There was a wand of telekinesis, and there were a couple of others that looked different, but he didn't ever name those. And the 3 rings: ring of regeneration, ring of protection, and ring of earth elemental command.
Is there like one of those that like is super shiny, like pretty looking, like
The
sparkly?
ring of earth elemental command has.
Oh, one of the wands. I mean,
Oh.
that one of the ones that I don't have already.
The ones that you have, they have kind of like a hue to it. There is one that is like solid platinum that no one is talking about.
I want that one.
And I want that one too. So let me really quick here.
So the irony is that her flying carpet is going to be the make or break, and she's trading it for items that she may not even be able to use.
I'm not trading it. Just temporary.
So,
Yeah, that's what I mean. So when we fight Drow and don't have your carpet, you're going to be like, I have all this junk. I wish we would have had our carpet, or my carpet. We could have survived.
It'll be useful.
So the
Not to, like,
solid
save
platinum
life,
looking
though,
one, it has like on the side of it, like it's a thin wand, but as it goes towards the end, it gets a little bit thicker, and you can see that carved in it are these different pictures of like different animals. And he says, "This is the wand of polymorph, and we."
Oh,
Yes!
Yay!
It is very valuable, and
dang.
it is important to the clan. So you must
Please
give
don't
us
lose it.
your assurance that if you do not return, then we will be asking from any of your compatriots that they will recompense us for
Yes.
the use.
Absolutely.
And it is very important that you do not use every charge.
Okay, how many charges are there?
There
One and done.
Do not use it.
are 7 charges.
Oh, dang.
In all of the ones?
In all of the wands. Yeah, they each have 7 charges.
Wow.
Your carpet's still worth more than that.
And one to fireball. One to fireball. That's a full-on fireball spell.
It is a
Yeah,
fireball.
but it doesn't let me do those things
It's
though.
like-
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm just
It requires
kidding.
attunement by a
Yeah,
spellcaster.
Uh,
Except for the wand of magic missile, that one does not require.
It's actually a really creative use. Like I'd never in a million years thought of doing that.
Gonna trade.
So, so what are you going to tell them the word, the command word?
I will make sure that no one else can hear it. So is that what, Evendur's the only one there with me?
Then you roll.
Evendur doesn't get to hear me.
Roll a check.
Got it.
And I only tell one. Like the person
got
that I'm dealing with.
it. Are you like going to do this like, Evendur, you need to leave the room? Okay, so she's saying everyone needs to leave the room except for this person.
I will tell
Kill
this person
bars.
the password.
Bill,
Is there still a way I can make a perception check on it?
You can certainly try. So you go outside the room, go and roll stealth with advantage, and roll perception with disadvantage.
Ah.
It's not impossible.
That's
Very
very
unlikely.
Nope. 24.
Good.
Yes. Like 7.
So you're like straining, and you hear these dwarves behind you that are very angrily like arguing about the different like nuances of a certain spell and the advantages of, and so like because of their interruption, you pick it up. So Kilvar says, "Okay, I will guard the secret of my life, and we will study it, and I will take a lot because I was always interested in this."
So when I'm in there with him, I tell him kind of like how much it can how much weight it can carry as well, just so they don't try to take off and then kill my carpet.
Just
basically.
rag on the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
Rips
What are
it.
these scuff marks? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So they.
So I just tell him like thank you for doing this. I think this will be a good trade. You guys will learn more about the spells behind
Yes.
the carpet, and it'll
Absolutely.
having these items will help us hopefully find them and ensure our protection.
Yes. The most important thing is to bring back our clansmen.
Yes.
Well. And
And
Healthy.
so
oh, you're not even there.
he doesn't care. Oh, 27. He doesn't care though. I know, just from meta. I'm more
You'd rather keep
interested
the
in.
carpet is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
the carpet.
Yeah,
He's like,
Yeah.
So
he's just checking the box.
the you're not even there.
Yeah.
So before we leave, though, I do remind Evendur, like, hey, did you want to ask these guys about your?
Yeah,
spell?
I was about Kilvar. This is a spell page that's burned. The original spell is called Rope Trick. Is there any way we can repair this?
We have the spell. You have ruined your spell. This is why you do not read next to an open flame.
Oh, it's a long story.
Is it possible
We got
to do?
into a fight with these elves, and they burned the page. So
We scales, you say.
yeah. Are you familiar with Largadon by any chance?
All I know is that the elves, you cannot trust them.
Yeah, I agree.
They are tricksy. They dance and laugh. And
They
they
can't smell.
smell their flowers. And it's for many reasons you cannot ever trust an elf. So
Lesson
Agreed.
learned.
How much to repair this spell page?
for this puppet, I don't recognize the spell. You say that it will do these things that you have said?
Yeah, it'll create like a dimensional portal, and you can climb a rope up into it, stay there for a few hours.
This is very
Wow.
interesting. I will,
Study that as well.
if you are willing to leave it with me, we can have it repaired by the time.
Yeah,
it's
sure. Yeah, hold on to it for as long as you want.
We will.
I can't use it.
Yeah,
You can use it.
but it would be like a 1 in 7 chance though.
It has a 10% chance of misfiring,
Into
And you might die.
casting a different spell.
yeah, I have no idea what it would be.
It's just random. It's just
I
wild
have-
magic.
I have a very thorough spell list of things that can happen if you misfire with a spell. So
I don't want to sound
it has 20,000 possible things that could happen,
Oh my
and it's amazing.
But it can be good stuff too.
I've only rolled
Yeah,
on that
good.
table. It can happen, you get amazing things can happen. Like
That's true.
all of your gold turns into platinum, or or your contents
It all
of,
turns into ore.
or it turns into lava, and you're wearing it. Yeah, so
Can you copy it down really fast, if anything, and then we'll let you
It
keep
will take
copying?
us probably 6 hours if you are going to wait for us to copy this down.
I don't have time for that, unfortunately. All right, never mind.
It didn't sound like you had the time.
No.
You seem like you are in a very big hurry, that you are going to go straight to the mission and not stop anywhere in between.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, so
well, thank you for trying anyway. So.
of course, so you're not going to leave it with us?
No, I'll take my chances.
I thought you were gonna leave. Okay.
Well, when I heard Ben explain all the possibilities of things that could happen.
20,000 possible things.
Yeah, you could kill everyone in your party.
It could kill everybody in the party. You could also.
That falls under wild magic too.
It could save the whole party too.
It's crazy things.
It is a chance I want to take.
And
Wild magic.
that sounds like the gambler that we all know and love.
Yeah, if Amir dies, it's the next character.
So, okay. So, you have those items added to your repertoire,
Nice.
but you have subtracted your flying carpet.
Yeah, we
The-
cannot fly.
You head up to the top. It's at this point been like 40 minutes that you guys have been gone, and Benjen and Martha are just sitting there.
Martha probably fell asleep.
Yeah,
Oh.
we do.
Because it's midnight, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning now.
It is very late, and the dwarves are unbothered by it. They just keep going. I don't
I
know.
too am not bothered by it.
This is the night shift. I don't know. It is that hour. It is late. They take you and the Burrow Warden takes you over through like a winding series of tunnels, and as they go further and further out through more and more doors, it takes you to where there is no longer like placed stone or carved very particularly. It gets into where it's more rough hewn, like this is getting out into where it's leaving the settlement of the dwarves. And the walls themselves kind of, although they're like they're not polished or anything, there is enough space for you to be able to travel now, kind of hunched over, because the dwarves have kind of like opened it up, but not opened it up big enough for a human or for a regular sized person. The going is kind of arduous, and it is constantly
And immediately
leading.
I'm like, damn, I wish I had my computer. I could just lay down.
Right?
Buyer's remorse.
Buyer's remorse. Yeah, so you get to where it leads out into now it's now the rough-hewn walls have turned into kind of like natural caverns, where you're going through these very strange-looking like mazes, where you'll get into a huge room where there's these stalactites from the ceiling and stalagmites coming up. You do hear dripping of water coming and echoing throughout these tunnels, and you get like it's kind of unsettling that there's no air, like there's no breeze. The air that you're breathing, while it feels warm, the walls kind of feel like they're closing in on you, because you're used to walking in more of an open world where you have the sky above you and you can see far. It has a very claustrophobic feeling as you're moving through these winding tunnels. You'll see occasionally this phosphorescent lichen moss growing around, and the Benjen, you will need your torch.
It's been on.
Okay, so the torch is on. The Burrow Warden kind of grumbles at being so exposed, and says, "Well, we have a little bit ways to go. So what is important is that you proceed forward with as much stealth as possible. We've tried to clear out these tunnels and keep them clear, but after about a week's time, you never know what might be coming to claim the territory."
So
Water
I would
around.
like to recommend then, since the rest of us have dark vision, and I think it's giving us a way that we have this torch lit, I would like to recommend that we put it out, but he can't walk by himself, and I know dwarves are very strong.
So
Would a dwarf be willing to carry him?
no, so they
still
can
throw it
see
out
us. They can see us if somebody's down here without light, then they can see us anyway. There's no.
But
difference.
you can't run if they
What's
did.
that?
Like if they saw us, we could see them too,
Yeah,
but we could all run and you can't.
but if the light's there, everybody can see everybody anyway. There's no difference.
It's basically creatures living down here probably see in the dark.
And if they don't, they have light, or else they can't see us. Does that make sense?
But why would he be perturbed at you having a torch? Kind of giving away
You say
It's
our
not
life
quiet.
position.
So like, what's a good way to explain it?
It's not giving away because they
They'd
have
see you
dark
anyway.
vision
If this
too,
if this
so-
torch is
Yeah.
out, they see us anyway.
And Benjen can't
If
see
they're
us,
looking,
so-
but they might not be looking, but if they see this.
Yeah, you could stealth
Torch.
on them. You could stealth up on somebody, but that's it. Yep. I'd happily go in the
That's
back.
true.
He'll be bait in the back.
Yep.
Hey, also,
It would be the
Okay
same
with that.
I'd
thing.
like to
I think that'd be
cast
smart.
Twilight Compass, but since we're may put that out, I don't know.
What do you want to cast?
What's going on?
Twilight
It's
Compass.
not in there, bro.
Okay. What is that spell?
It's just a blurb. It's a floating sphere of light with glyphs and patterns in different colors appearing on the surface. They move around depending on where I am in relation to north and south poles. The sphere itself can be moved within 5 feet of me, and reading the glyphs I can guess what direction I'm currently heading and the current depth above and below the surface.
Really?
The spell immediately is dismissed when day turns to night and vice versa, so I know if it's day or night even though we're underground.
Yeah.
And the compass provides dim illumination out to 20 feet. So he doesn't necessarily, I don't know how far a torch is, but
There's only like 30 feet.
But then 30 more feet of dim.
Yeah.
So 60.
oh yeah, so it's better. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. If you
I just wanted to let you know that, just so I know how deep we are, if we're going deeper, where are we in relation to north and south.
It tells you depth.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it is gradually like this.
And since it's already like 1, right?
Well, at this point, it's probably getting closer to 2 in the morning.
Okay.
So you are getting lower and
It's like a
lower
phone.
into the ground,
It's like
and
a phone with Google Maps.
right, but you can't see the actual map.
Right.
You just know
Right.
which way is north.
And that might come in handy,
Yeah.
maybe.
If someone was documenting down this trail.
Right.
No one's drawing a map.
Yeah, no one's doing that.
So it takes you to where there is a cavern that is a little bit more narrow and long, and then there's these dark, like crevices that lead off, like cracks in the earth that who knows how far in they go. But it feels kind of like it's a little unnerving knowing that you aren't going into any of these to check them out to make sure that people aren't going to be able to come in from behind you or where they lead. But he keeps going forward regardless. Gets to where the
This is the
bird
Borough Warden.
Yeah. He heads to where it begins bending off towards the east, and it says, "All right, this is where I'm going to have to leave you. I want to make it back by myself. I'm going to have to leave you here, but it's just 2 passages ahead."
Can I make an inside check?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. Like nothing. 4.
He looks like this is where he was planning on taking you, and then was going to leave you by your own means.
Okay.
He doesn't look like he's scared of anything in particular. It's just like this is the limit of where he knows he'll be able to make it back by himself.
What was the Burrow Warden's name?
His name?
We never actually got it.
Nope.
We just
No,
told him.
you didn't. Oh, just passed it.
If he's a red shirt and gonna die on the way back, I don't care.
His name is Bayern.
Okay.
I'm assuming we have to find the doors. Then we go way back.
So you said 2 corridors up from here.
2 passages ahead. Right or left?
2 passages ahead.
Aye.
That's it?
2 passages ahead. You keep heading east.
Okay.
There is a pool of water in the room And that is where they headed off. That was the last trace we had of them. So, thank you for doing this. Hopefully we'll see you soon. He heads off into the darkness behind you. So what are your characters doing?
I would ask Roll, you can talk to him after, to save one of those spells just in case we need to call the pharaohs.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
would like me to save spell slot for sending?
Yes, one. Just one, so just in case we need a call back. Just,
I will keep that in mind. If I think I'm going to die, I will use whatever I need
yeah.
myself.
Worst case scenario, if you can spare one just in
I
case.
start walking towards the
All right.
passage.
I'll be able to pull ripcord.
As I walk forward, I just simply like
Yeah.
200 gold.
How
What
much
a
would we
rip
get?
off.
Yeah, I would like to also investigate for any like their tracks. The
Sure.
tracks.
So I'll need everyone roll stealth checks, and then you can roll your investigation check. Or survival, actually, because tracks.
7.
Stealth?
Do I have disadvantage or anything because of my torch?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I need to be rolling my
10.
dice.
Stealth and then what? What's the other one?
Whoever was checking
10?
for tracks would be a survivor.
Wow.
11.
Stealth is 7.
Plus 7.
14. Even with
Survival
the
is
disadvantage.
15.
You're not checking for tracks.
Everybody else is. So I'm
Oh, I was rolling
I'm
stealth.
doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I was rolling stealth.
My stealth is
So
7.
that means you're ahead then. You're
Yeah.
ahead of us. Okay. Go. Make sure Amir is
You
ahead
said
of us.
survival?
Survival.
19.
19, okay. Yeah, so moving ahead, you hear the group behind you like scuffing their feet on the ground, and while it's not overtly making noise, like every now and again, like a rock will get kicked and you'll hear this, and it kind of echoes throughout the chamber. You're going straight to the passage and then you're going to check, or you're checking right now while you're going off there? You're not at the
I'm
passage.
checking right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so so the ground itself is a naturally occurring cavern, and it has where there are these like trickles of water. There's this like it's moss and mushroom that is growing like on its own on the side, and you do see places where there are like mushrooms that have been broken from people walking through them or picking them or for whatever reason, and it's leading off in that direction. But you also notice that there are tracks that kind of lead over to the water and then disappear into one of these side passages.
I just let them know that as we're walking, I guess. I don't know, are you guys a distance back or right behind me?
Yeah. Yeah, you were leading, weren't you?
Yeah,
You
but
were
I
going
mean, is it like a 5 foot on my head?
Oh,
Or like
no, that's
30
what you
feet
guys
or 60.
You would need to be 60 foot to be out of the torchlight.
I don't need the torchlight.
That's what I'm saying. To be out of the torchlight, to not have disadvantage, you need to be 60 foot from us.
Because it
From me.
casts dim light up to 60 feet away.
For what, stealth?
For stealth.
I don't get disadvantage with dim light and stealth.
In
My racial ability.
your racial ability doesn't give you dim light with the torch.
No, doesn't
That's
give me.
very specific.
No, it's what's it called?
He's multi-class.
It's Mask of the Wild. Mask of the Wild.
Mask of the Wild.
Yeah, I can hide in lightly obscured.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Well played, Mask of the Wild. Okay, so heading up into the front, moving along in the passageways.
You tell us about that?
What?
The seeing the footprints in the passage?
Yeah, I tell them, hey, there's
So are
footprints
you?
going off to this direction,
Or you want
and where he said. So footprints going to the water on our right or left. and then straight ahead, and then nothing to the left.
Are they elven footprints or dwarven footprints?
Can I roll for that?
You would need to roll, yes, a nature check.
Because we would
A
expect.
nature check to determine
Investigation. Yeah, because
Natural 20.
Right.
they
Can you tell me
appear to
what
be.
time they came through here?
Yeah.
The
How
long-
many? What they have for breakfast?
So you recognize these prints very well from your days clearing the sunless jungle of orcs.
Ooh, ew.
Holy smokes.
Who?
Which path? The one that goes off?
The ones that goes off. The ones that are
Okay.
leading straight are they're smaller and heavy-footed, so they probably belong to dwarves.
Okay, that's what I tell you guys.
The dwarves go straight, orcs lead off into the side passageway.
You should probably go straight then.
And by the numbers, there was probably a dozen or so of the orc tracks.
So I think we should keep the torch at the back
Yeah, it is.
for that reason.
Yeah, so you say, all right, wait 6
They can't
seconds
wait
and
to
then
sneak up.
follow me or whatever, so that
Sure.
there's 60 feet behind you. And you head into the passageway. You're going to keep going forward to where they said, where the pool of water is and everything?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so heading forward, marching on, you get to the passageway first where this is obviously what they were talking about. There, where you are, it kind of like narrows to a point where it's almost uncomfortable and you have to squeeze through sideways to get in through this little crack. But it opens up into a lower ceilinged cavern where you see a large dark pool of water off to the right of where you're looking, and straight ahead there are these large stalagmites that go up and actually connect with the ceiling, so they're kind of obscuring the whole chamber. But the passageway itself has what looks to be the remnants of some type of a pitched battle that happened here. There are these arrows that have been like shattered and broken, and there are a couple of like shields that have splintered, and they look like they have like they're just like haphazardly cut on the ground just from like looking into the room before the party comes up on you. And go ahead and make a perception check.
22.
The ceiling of the chamber kind of like it doesn't flow like a flat thing. It kind of like dips and curves. You see further along in the chamber, your vision goes up to 120 feet in dark vision.
Nope, 60 feet.
Oh.
60
Dark
feet.
vision, 60 feet.
So at the very limit of your range, you see movement, like a shadow kind of like scuttling just out of your view on the ceiling.
Nice.
And
Okay.
you hear the sounds of footsteps coming behind you, and that is where we'll pick up next week on Dungeons and Dragons.